be undertaking any online discussions, any online interactions, and it is also the platform where you will be posting your e-portfolio through a link, because we don't expect you to send it through the email. Remember, we want to stay very, very transparent, very, very accountable, so that should TSC ask us, did this student do, or did this participant do 1, 2, 3, 4, then we're able to actually produce the evidence through our learning management system that indeed this person did what was required. And therefore, we, Donald Thethe, take this as the last warning. We are removing you. So we want to be able to be accountable, like I've said, and be able to tell any person who asks, what did this teacher do? So that's why everything has to be done from the learning management system. So what I want to do is to share, for you to get into our learning management system, you can, let me see. You can decide to come to, wow, just 1 minute. Let me open something here. There are many ways of getting to our learning management system, and I'll show you 2 of them. One, you can go through the Google way, where just 1 minute, where you go to your search button. Okay, your search button is Google, and I'll be asking Dr. Cyprian whether she can see my screen, so that we are not all saying, oh, we can't see, we can't see. So Dr. Cyprian, are you up to that point? Can you see my screen?
Yes, but not in presenting math. So maybe you can just log out and then start again. That's now better.
Okay,
I can see it.
Okay, now just 1 minute. To be able to do that, I have to just 1 minute. So okay, so I think you can see it now. So you can go to your search engine. It could be Mozilla, it could be Google.
Not yet, Harry. Not yet.
Sorry.
Not yet. Your screen cannot be seen yet.
Yes.
Yeah, and colleagues, I am removing those on video. I'm actually doing it, and I think I'm enjoying doing it, because there's no way we fail to follow instructions, and there are people waiting. Thank you, Doc.
Okay, so now you can see it, Dr. Oyo?
Not yet.
Okay, I think I just go the other route, where we just get it from our, so what I'm trying to say is that you can get your LMS by coming to this part here. I'm hoping that now it's visible, Dr. Oyo.
Yes.
You can see it now.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Thank you. So participants, there are many ways. Actually, there are 2 ways of going through this. You can come to your search button here, Google, where you type whatever it is that you want to type or to search, or you could use this top part here, where you can also type, where my cursor is. So assuming that you want to use this part here, you're going to come here and type kusoma.ku.ac.ke. Mine has already come because I use this every day. And even you, when you get used now to typing that address up there, you'll be writing Kusoma and the whole thing comes. So you type kusoma.ku.ac.ke, and then you enter on your gadget, you tap the enter key. That is one way. The other way is just to type here where you do your search. Okay, so in this case, you can say digital learning app. Okay, and when you say enter, it brings you, sorry, I should have typed KU, digital learning app. Okay. It will still take you to Kusoma. If you look at this part here, you can see kusoma.ku.ac.ke. Then you click on digital learning app, or you go up here the way I've shown you first. So whichever way, you could use the Google search and just type KU digital learning app. And then when you get this, you can now click on digital learning app here, or just the kusoma.ku.ac.ke, and you'll be right inside our platform. Okay, so if I click on this, it takes me, Dr. Oyo, you can see the interface?
Yes, Monica.
Yes, so it takes you to this interface, where now this is like the gateway to our learning management system. But this gateway requires a username and it requires a password. Now, your username is your TSC number. So I'm going to key in my TSC number, okay? And then your default password. Default means the one you start with, but later on, you will be requested by the system to change to one that is not so obvious. Now, default passwords are passwords that anyone can key in and access your account as long as they know your TSC number. So the default password is 1234. So if you are logging onto the LMS for the very first time, your username is your TSC number and the password is 1234. So then you log in. Okay. Now, once you log in, you can see it has brought my names here. Okay. But most importantly, it has told you that you must change your password to proceed. So it means that you cannot proceed before you've changed your password from 1234 to another password that is only known to you. Remember, default passwords are known by everyone. All I need is your TSC number. And then because the 1234 is known by everyone, I can very easily get into your account. So for you to proceed, you must change the 1234. So you come here now to change. So the system is going to ask you for your current password. So your current password is the one you have just used. That is 1234. Then it will require you to give a new password. Now, this new password is a password that you can remember. It is a password that you know you will not be calling us all the time to reset because you have forgotten. So it can be a very, very simple password. It could be a password that you use the other times, you know, with other maybe systems. So in this case, I am going to just put any password. So I'll put okay, I've put the password, then I repeat it. The same password you've put as the new one, you repeat it here so that the system is sure that you are very sure about what you are doing. So I've put it. Then I say save changes. Okay. And the system is also now going to tell you that password has been changed. So that's a very, very important step, because then you are not able to get into our LMS unless you have changed your password. So then the system prompts you to continue. So I click on continue. Okay. Now, once I am in the system now, you'll see your name up here. You can see my 3 names here. Okay. And these are the names that you gave us when you are doing your registration. Somebody please mute yourself. Dr. You may have to remove that one. Okay, so up here, you're going to see your names here. And there is also an arrow here. If you click on it, you can see very many things that you can do in this system. You can view your profile, you can even put a photo, and you can change a few things, and you can log out. Okay. Now, there's a very, very important button just below your name where you can see Kenyatta University. There's a small button here where my cursor is, and that is the button that we call the search button. So if you click on that button, it opens a white space for you to search the course that you want. Now, teachers, remember, the only course that you want here is the TPD course. Even the system will not allow you to navigate to any other course that is offered in Kenyatta University. So yours is the TPD. So I'll come here and say TPD 102. Okay, TPD 102. Then, of course, I'll click on the enter key so that I can search. Okay, so I click on the enter key, and immediately we have, this is what you see. So you see here, TPD 102, Teacher Professional Development, and this is for all the cohorts, cohort 1, cohort 2, and cohort 3. Below here, you see the names of the various facilitators, okay? Now, for you to now get onto the course properly, you're going to click where there's yellow, TPD 102. So where it is written TPD 102 in yellow, you click there, okay? And once you click there, okay, once you click there, you are now able to see the module, okay? You're able actually to see that this is the Teacher Service Commission, Teacher Professional Development Introductory Module, okay? Then, when you scroll down, here is where we'll give you any announcements. If there are any announcements that need to go to all the registered teachers, we'll write them here. Then there's a button here about blended learning. This may not be for you, but it is also important because what you are doing, you may also need to remember a few things. Then online learning rules and etiquette are repeated here. Remember, during our virtual trainings from 4th to 8th, we kept emphasizing on ground rules and etiquette. Again, when you go to the learning management system and you click on this button here, the same rules are repeated. Then you will be able to see some links. If, for example, you belong to Dr. Rhoda Gitonga's group, you know, I've pretended that I'm a participant. Okay, I have pretended that I'm a participant, and I've actually used my TSC number. I was also a teacher like you, and I still remember my number. And I find that the system has given me Dr. Rhoda Gitonga as my facilitator. So you will see a link written cohort 2 or cohort 3, okay, group, Google Meet link. And that is what, of course, you'd have clicked on to get into the virtual classes that we had from 4th to 8th. Then you get chapter 1 content here. Okay, chapter 1 content here. Now, one thing that you have to note, teachers, is that anything that is in blue in this system means that there's more content that is superimposed on those words. For example, you see online learning rules, stroke netiquette. If you click on these words are hyperlinked with the actual rules, with the actual netiquette. So if you click on them, they will open to where, those rules are. Just like if you click on chapter 1 content, which was for cohort 3, okay, if I just click here, you realize that this takes you elsewhere. So I click on it. And Dr. Oyo, please tell me whether you can still see it.
Yes, yes.
So cohort 3, those who are here for the very first time, those who had their classes from 4th to 8th, this is all the content you're going to require for your chapter 1. I'm sorry it is written April, okay, but it's the same content that we learned. I think we'll now upload the ones for July so that maybe you can now see like it's clearly your content. And this content you can download. If I click on download folder, all these things are going to come to my smartphone or they are going to come to my computer. Okay, so we have put them here in such a way that if you want to download all of them, you can actually download and go through. Okay, so that is chapter 1 content. So I'll go back, and to go back, you always go either to dashboard or this part here. If you want to go back, you go back to where you got the TPD 102. So for me, I'll go to general so that I can go back. And there we are. Now, teachers, please look at what is on my screen. You see, the system keeps motivating you. Right now, the system has told me, congratulations, you have reached level 2. Cool, thank you. And it has given me a star and 2 points. And I'm sure some of you have been asking on the WhatsApp groups, I'm at 42, I'm at 35. That means that you are really doing well in the system. You are participating in the forums that are there. So the system has just motivated me. And that is how we have programmed our system. Anytime you do some substantial work there, like opening all the links, maybe responding to what your fellow teachers are saying, the system gives you marks. So for me, I now have 2 marks. I'm at level 2. So again, this is where we were. I have just looked at chapter 1 content. Those of you maybe who are in chapter 2 and 3, the content again is here. So if you click on chapter 2 and 3 content, you will be able to download all the materials to your gadgets. Now for the cohort 1, we are going to upload the chapter 4 and 5 by the end of the day so that you're also able to download the materials. So that is all on the preliminaries, and then we get to a very, very important point that we are referring to as access and motivation. Now, teachers, when you go to your face-to-face classes in your schools are opening tomorrow, maybe by Friday or Monday, you'll be meeting with your students face-to-face. Now, if you have a new group of students who have just joined your school, I'm sure you don't go the first day and start introducing chapter 1 of your mathematics, of your history, of your whatever you teach. You start with introductions. You start by telling them, hello students, I am Mr. Owino Crispo, and I'll be taking you in mathematics. And maybe just so that we get to know who is in this class, maybe you can introduce yourselves. You give them the opportunity to bond. You give them the opportunity to know each other so so that they are not calling each other, where, you teacher, I mean, you student, you give them an opportunity. Now, when we go online or virtual, it is the same way. We do not start by teaching our topic once or our lesson one. We start by what we call access and motivation. And the aim of this part here is to introduce ourselves, to tell other participants who we are, where we come from, and in the process, we create a community of learners that can support and motivate each other. So you are providing some details about yourself, like, hi people, I am Elizabeth Mwaniki, I teach in Kasarani, I teach mathematics, blah, 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 blah. It's my first time to be in an online class, but I think I'm really determined. And somebody else will come and say, don't worry, Elizabeth, we are sailing in the same boat. Now, once you get to know who is who perhaps has some prior online learning experience, then you'll know whom to go to next time. And I must say, I must congratulate this group. We have seen so much growth within those 4 days that it's even baffling. And we saw a lot of this when a few of you started even training their colleagues about maybe how to access the e-portfolio, how to create folders there, how to drop them, and how to share. Again, we're also seeing that in the WhatsApp group, the discussions that are there. That tells us that this first part here, access and motivation, and the second part that we refer to as online socialization was well done, because that is how you get to know who is who, what they are capable of doing, and who is approachable, whom can we talk to, and all that. So the access and motivation, you click on this button. There's an activity on access and motivation. This word activity it just refers to online activity. When we are in a face-to-face class, we talk of learning activities. Now, when we go online, we refer to them as activities because they're on the internet, they're online. So activity on access and motivation. Again, as I said, anything that is in blue here means that it is carrying a lot of information on it. So if you click on it, it takes you to another window where you can undertake the activity. So it's the same thing as the forum here. But let me just click on activity on access and motivation.
Sorry, Doc. Sorry, Doc.
Yes.
Could you please activate the live stream from your end? From your
It's
end?
already activated.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Now the problem is that once I stop sharing it, wow. Okay, allow me to just go back. Once I stop doing what I'm doing to go back, it becomes a bit difficult to go on. So the live stream is activated, Dr. Oyo, but you've got to have the KU email address to be able to get in. So those who are able to get in will get in, but we are also recording so that in case people want to go through the steps one more time, they can go through them. So I was saying that we go to activity on access and motivation. Please mute yourself, whoever is not muted. Mute yourself. Dr. Oyo, you can remove that person.
Okay.
So when I click on activity on access and motivation, it is going to open to this forum here. You see this forum 01. It is going to open to this forum. So you can still go directly to this forum, but allow me to click on it so that you can see what is there. And the activity comes in form of a table with instructions on what you need to do. And it tells you that what you need to do is to read the introduction folders, for example, the welcome message that is there, read something about blended learning. Please, whoever is not muted, mute yourself. Then there's also something on online learning rules.
Doc, you are not sharing?
Wow. Okay, just give me 1 minute then. Can you confirm that it is there now?
Not yet?
It's not there. Not yet.
Just give me 1 minute. I think it was that disruption that we had. It might mean that I may have to go back. Tell me whether we are there now.
Not yet? Yes. You are there.
Okay. So when we get to the activity.
But Doc, not in a presentation mode.
I don't get you.
Now you are okay. Thank you. Now it is okay. Thank you.
Okay. So when you open the activity, it gives you instructions on what to do. And it tells you to read the welcome message. It tells you to read about blended learning. It tells you to read about online learning rules. Now, then it tells you exactly what you need to do on the forum. What you need to do is to go to forum 0.1 and tell people who you are and what your goals are. For example, I am Elizabeth Mwaniki, I teach in Kasarani, and my goal is to be a better, effective 21st century teacher. Share your online experiences, if any, and then comment on 1 or 2 items in the welcome message. And then do you need any clarification? And are you aware that we'll be monitoring your progress? The most important place to click after that is this forum 0.1. Remember, as I've said, anything that is in blue on these elements means that that is a hyperlink. If you click on it, it takes you elsewhere. So I click on 0.1 forum, and it then opens. Dr. Oyo, you can confirm that you can see it?
Yes, I can see it, Doc, and I'm also requesting that you make me a co-host. Dr. Liv has just been thrown out.
Wow. Okay, let me finish with this part. Then I make you a co-host here. So
it's okay. Thank you.
When you come now to forum 01 on access and motivation, again, we have repeated the instructions so that you don't have to keep going to the earlier part. And here, what you need to do is to come here and write about those things. For example, Charity Wanga wrote hers on 10th of July. And what you need to do is to come here and add a topic. To be able to write here, like you can see, all these people have been writing, okay? They've been answering the questions. What you need to come and do is to add a new topic. So you come here and add a new topic. So you click on add a new topic. And then the system, so the subject here is, you can say it is introductions. Okay. And this is where you write whatever you're supposed to write. For example, you can say, Greetings, good people. I am Elizabeth Waneki. I teach mathematics in Kasarani, and I am happy to be here. I have zero experience in online learning. Let's just assume that that's what you say, okay? But I am happy to be here. So let's assume that's what you say. And then the next thing now is to post that to the forum. So I'll come here. You have three things that you can do. You can cancel or you can post to the forum. So for me, I want to post to the forum. So I'll come here and say, post to forum. So I click on it, post to forum. And what the system does is that it will tell you that your post was successfully added and that you have 30 minutes to edit if you want to make any changes. And that means that if you look at what you've written and, this is now what I've written, it comes here. If you look at what you have written and you want to make any changes to it, you still have 30 minutes. If you want to change, you come here and say edit. Okay, if I say edit, let's assume I want to change. If I say edit, it will take me back to the same place where I wrote. For example, this is where it will take me. Remember, we have just written this. So I'm happy to be here and to learn. Maybe that is what you want to add, or there's something you felt needed to be corrected. Again, you'll come here and say, save changes. Now, if you do not say save changes, it means that your work will remain the way it was before. It is not going to be edited. So you click on save changes. And once you say that now, you can see whatever little part we have added has now been factored in. So that is how we respond to, how we add a topic when we want to contribute. Now, let's go back to those introductions. Remember, we had several people. For example, Charity had already written. Now, if you go and find that Charity has already commented or has written, and you want to respond to her, there's a button here called reply. Okay, so if you want to tell her, welcome, we are also maybe sailing in the same boat and all that, okay, so you'll come here and say reply. So if I click on reply, it gives you a small box to respond to Charity. So I'll come here and say, hello, Charity. Good to meet you. We will be fine. Okay, somebody mute yourselves. Okay, so you are responding. Let me stop and actually make you a co-host, Dr. Ayo. I think you really need it now, so that you can remove all those people who are not. Okay. There are so many people who want to be admitted, and anytime I go to look for your name, it's just telling me to get them in. So allow me to very quickly look for your name, make you a co-host. You can now, I think you're a co-host now, Dr. Oyo. Okay. So teachers, avoid unmuting yourself because we are actually going to remove any person who is not okay. So let me go back to what I was presenting. And what we were saying is that if you want to respond, Dr. Ayo, confirm that you can see it because I've had to go back.
Not yet.
Okay. I hope I would have to stop again because anytime.
No, there you are.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So we say that after you have written and you want to comment on your colleagues, you just go to the button that is reply to this. So that is on ETVT on access and motivation. And you can also just access it here on Forum 01. It's the same thing. If I click on this, it takes me back to the same place where we were. For example, you can see Andrew Kamau wrote 1054. He must have been writing as we were doing this. And he's saying, Kamau Andrew, a geography and Kiswahili teacher from the Birioni Boys. I'm eager to learn more about this platform and perfect my experience as a 21st century teacher. Now, if I want to respond to what Kamau has said, okay, I'll come here and click on discuss this topic. Teachers, you can see discuss this topic. And you can see that Kamau has one reply so far. So when I say discuss this topic, when I click on discuss this topic like that, it gives me an opening where now the reply button is available. And I can now click on reply to Kamau. And then there's a small box here. And I'll say, hello, Kamau. Okay. Good to meet you. Okay. I think that's all I want to tell him. And then I'll say post to forum. So I click on post to forum. And you can see I'm there. If you want to come and respond to what I've said, now you'll come to the reply button. Okay. So, but if you want to, and you see again, you have been told that your post was successfully added, you have 30 minutes to make any changes. Now, supposing I don't want to make any changes, but I want to go back, you click on this button to go back. Okay. Again, you get somebody else who has written something else and you can respond to what they have said. So that is all on access and motivation. And really, now, look at the system. Dr. Ayo, can you see this? The system has already given me now another level. Congratulations, you have reached level 3. Okay, so the system keeps prompting you. The more you write, the more you interact. Okay, it's a way of, that is what we do with our regular students. You know, any person who is on this system and they are doing a lot of work on the LMS, they get motivated by the system. So that is access and motivation. Then we go to online socialization. And again, online socialization allows you now to kind of become more comfortable with your colleagues, to become more familiar, and just to go beyond the introductions. If you realize what we have done at access and motivation, it is just greetings. How are you? I'm from this school. I teach in this. I have 0 experience. But now, online socialization is about breaking the ice and going beyond the introductions. It is mostly perhaps the day 2 of your face-to-face classes. The first day, learners are fearing each other if they are new. They're even fearing you as a teacher. But as they get to know more about each other, as they get to talk with each other, they feel more comfortable, they feel more free to even talk because they have socialized. So in online learning, it is the same way. So now here you are going beyond just the greetings, but you're welcoming those who may be late. You're trying to ask, colleagues, what did you hear? Did she say this and this? You're trying to get clarifications on any issue concerning the course, either from the facilitators or from the other participants. You are even discussing netiquette, and you're telling each other, I think it is good, but can't we also add 1, 2, 3? So at this point in time, you are gelling. So to use, that word, you are starting to become more familiar with each other. Again, that is done through an activity. And that activity is just like what was in the other one. If I click on this, it takes me to the activity. So I click on this, activity on online socialization. And again, what I get is a video here that talks about netiquette. Okay, and you're supposed to watch this 7 minutes video on netiquette. You'll see this student getting into the teacher's office, and instead of greeting the teacher, how are you, Mwalim? I brought my assignment. She gets in and just throws the assignment to the teacher. Okay, and that becomes a very good starting point because, of course, you start asking yourself, as a teacher, if a student does that, how would I respond? And that becomes a very good starting point for us to discuss netiquette. And what happens is that now you have some questions here to respond to. You are being told to go to forum 02 and answer these questions. How conducive is your environment for e-learning? Were you able to watch this video above? And if not, what challenges did you face? The list on netiquette is not exhaustive. What new idea can you add to be part of netiquette in online learning? Again, we just want your ideas. And where do you give those ideas? You will post them on 0.2, forum 0.2. Teachers, what I've kept on saying is that any word in blue on this system is a hyperlink. If you click on it, like now, if I click on forum 0.2, it takes me now to another forum where now I can write. For example, this is where it takes me. The instructions are repeated just so that you don't have to keep going back to the activity. But now, look at what people have been writing. Remember that for you to start any discussion, you have to click on this blue button here, add a new discussion topic. Add a new discussion topic. But you can see many people have been there. All these people have been there. And all these are new participants. You can see it started on July. All these, they have been there. So you'll come here and click on add a new discussion topic. And then it gives you a place to write. So I might come here and say, this is online socialization. Okay. Then I come here and write my message. And I can say, hello team, I have watched a video on netiquette because my internet connectivity was okay. About netiquette, remember you've been told to comment on netiquette. About netiquette, we could also add the use of formal English words and proper grammar. I'm just assuming that's what you'd say, and proper grammar. So you have contributed to what you think netiquette can be all about, and you have talked about your connectivity, and now you're ready to post it. Remember, for you to post it, then you click on this post to forum. So I'll come here and say post to forum. And once I do that, again, the system tells you that your post was successfully added and that you have 30 minutes to make any changes. So if you go down here now, you're going to find it here. Look at this. This is online socialization. It tells you you are from which cohort and your name here. And now other people can come and comment. So your post will always come top. When you comment, it comes top. Now, supposing I want to comment on what others have written, what will I do? I will come here and, for example, get one from Esther Wamoyo. So I'll come here and click on this word here. These words in blue can take you to where her statements are. So if I come and click on connectivity, it takes me to where Wamoyo has written. And here she is. And she has said that my learning environment today was not very conducive because of a hitch on my mic. I felt sorry for failing to introduce my breakout group 1 during recap time. Also not able to participate well in the second group. I later realized the issue was minor and fixed it. I have realized that ICT literacy is gained through practice. Very good words. Now, if I want to reply, this one becomes very simple. You just click on the word reply, which is here. So I say reply. And it opens a box and I'll say, not to worry. Not to worry, Esther. That is ICT. I'm just assuming that I'm telling her it's okay, you know. And what I need to do now is to post to the forum. So again, I say post to forum. And once I post, of course, Esther will see what I have posted. You see, it is just next to what she has written. So teachers, what we are saying is that let us go to those parts, the access and motivation, like we saw here. Click on this button on the activity, or if you want to go directly, you can click on forum 0.1. It makes work easier, okay? Then you go to online socialization, and we say that now this one is becoming more detailed, you're becoming more familiar with each other, and again, you can decide to go direct to forum 0.2, or you could just go through here. The more you write by adding a topic to the discussion and responding to what your colleagues are saying, the more the system gives you points, the more the system prompts you. Now, after that now, we are supposed to go to the content. Now, ordinarily, we are supposed to place the module content here for day 1. Okay, you realize that we have not yet placed it here because we have already given you the content up here. Remember where we saw the content? Here, chapter 1 content for cohort 3, chapter 2 and 3 content for cohort 2. The only cohort that does not have content here is cohort 1, and I said we are going to put it. So because the content is already here, we have left it blank, but we are still going to populate it with content for day 1. But after you have gone through day 1, remember on the 4th, all the way up to 8th, day 1 all the way up to day 5, we learned and we went through a lot of content. Now, what then becomes important is the reflections on the day. Remember, every day is going to have reflections. And the reflections are written in 3 parts. There are 3 questions that you need to answer for you to have successfully completed reflections for a particular day. And the 3 questions are, 1, what I learned today, what I still wonder about, and what I still need. Now, what I learned, okay, what I learned is a narration of what happened in a, on a particular day. And again, when I click on it, remember every word that is on blue here is a hyperlink, and it is going to take you to the place where you're supposed to write. So if I click on what I learned, I click on it, it takes me now to a place where I can start writing. And it is even giving me what to think through as I write. For example, you need to ask yourself, what happened on this day? Who took you through what? For example, on this day, we started with netiquette and the ground rules. Dr. Mwaneki took us through 1, 2, 3, 4, or Professor Kombo said this and this. Dr. Olivia, Dr. Oyo, tell us what happened. This is a narration, it's a story that you are giving us about what happened. What strategies were used? Were people sent into discussion groups so that they can learn through experiential learning where they share their ideas? What was there reporting back? Was there now the filling of the gaps? What strategies were used during the day? And from all that happened and the strategies that were used, what did you learn? So for you to write the answers, you'll come here and click on this. I don't know whether this is black or gray. Looks gray to me. This gray button here, that is start. When I put my cursor there, it becomes green. Start or edit my journal entry, because there's nothing you've done yet. And even the system is telling you that you have not started this journal yet. So to be able to start and talk about the activities of day 1, which was 4th of July, you come here and click on start or edit my journal entry. So I click on it. And what happens is that it gives me a place. You see this? The word is entry. So I can write here and I can say, on day 1, Professor Kisilu Kombo and Dr. Olivia Opere welcomed us and took us through the background. I'm just imagining that's what I would write. Took us through the background of TPD, the rationale, the structure, and assessment. Okay. Later on, Dr. Mwaneki took us through navigation of the LMS and how to create e-portfolios. And we then went into our breakout rooms where we discussed blah, 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 blah. You know, you can write exactly what happened. I will not write everything because I don't want anyone thinking that this is what really must be there. So assume now that you have written as many sentences as possible and you have told us about what happened. Remember, what you need to say is, as a result of all this, I learned that it is not just teachers who undergo TPD. Okay? Whatever you learned on that day, you write it. Then you now come here and say, save changes. Okay, so I say, save changes. So you have given a narrative of what happened on day 1, who took you through what, and what strategies were used. And because of that, what did you learn? So The system tells us when you wrote that and exactly how many words that you have used. Now, teachers, please listen twice here. Each of these three questions that we are answering in the reflections part, what I learned, what I'm still wondering, and what I still need, each of them gives you 5 marks. And I'm very, very happy that we are all teachers, so we know how we mark our students' work. If you set a question that should give students 5 marks, and a student writes just one sentence, I'm very sure you will not give them 5 marks. If they write 2 sentences, again, you will not give them even 2 marks. So as we write these reflections, we may be the chemistry teachers, the mathematics teachers who say, oh, we don't have the content, we don't have the language, we don't want to talk a lot. But there's no way you are going to write a narrative and convince people that you learned something unless you're willing to write and write. And I'm not saying that you write 3 pages or, 2,000 words, but something that can give one 5 marks. Now, based on what I've written here, I would only give this student, that is myself, 2 marks. And that means that you've got to write. Because it is a narrative, just talk about what happened in the course of the day 1, the day 2, or up to day 5. What strategies were used? What happened in those discussion groups? What you learned as a result of that. Remember, there was a lot of learning in those groups, and that's why it's called experiential learning. Through, the cooperative, the breakout rooms that you went to. What were the takeaways on that day? That is what you learned. Did you learn that other people also go through TPD? Did you learn that TPD will actually make you a better teacher? Did you learn, what were the takeaways on that day? So once you've written sufficient, information here, there's no reason why you should not get 5 marks. But what we are seeing, even from the other cohorts ahead of you, is that somebody wants to say, today I learned that TPD will make me a better teacher. Honestly, that cannot give you 5 marks. At most, I'll just give you 1 mark for trying. So you've got to write. So once you have written the first part, then you go to, again, day 1, so that you go back to day 1 so that you can. And you see, the system has already given me, now I have reached level 4. And it's telling me, congratulations. So the more you write, the more you go through these LMS, the more the system congratulates you. So I have now written what I learned. So I go to the second part now, what I still wonder about. And I click on it. Okay. And it takes me to another part where I'm supposed to start or edit my journal entry. So if I click on this, again, it opens a place where I can write what I still wonder about. Now, for those of you who may be here for the first time or who perhaps did not attend this part, what I still wonder about comes as a result of what you say you have learned on day 1. And there's a lot that was learned on day 1. But now the thing is, yes, you have learned all that. But is there something that you're still wondering about? Are there still some nagging questions despite what you have already been given in terms of information? So I can come here and say, as good as TPD day 1 was, I still wonder how I will undertake all those online interactions given my poor internet connectivity. I also wonder how applicable the issue of ICT in learning is in environments that are not connected. You see, this one, as I've said, is whatever information that you get on a particular day. It is more about and trying to see how that is applicable in your context, in your practice. You know, those nagging thoughts that you have, that yes, you have told us this, which is very, very good. But I'm still wondering, I come from Turkana when maybe there's no power. So how do I go about this? I'm still wondering, 31 years, will I be learning? Whatever comes to you as a nagging question is what you put here. What are you still wondering, despite the content, despite the information that you've been given on a particular day? Again, we are saying, keep writing. Don't write 3 sentences like I've written. This is just for demonstration. Keep writing, because if you have to get 5 marks, it means that you've written something substantial. Then again, you say, save changes. Now, once you have saved your changes, remember the system gives you 30 minutes. So if you still feel that maybe you want to edit, remember this button is for you to start or to edit. So if I want to edit, if for example, after you've looked at it, you realize you've made either a spelling error or there's something you want to add, you can still click back, start or edit my journal entry like that. And then you can now, it comes back to you. So your page for writing is brought back, and you can now add whatever you want to add. And after you've added, then you go back to save changes. If you do not save changes, it means that your work will be back to the way it was, where you thought you needed to edit. So you talk of save changes. And again, now, when you look at it, you realize that the things you have added have now been factored in. Now, we want to go back so that we can do the last part. So again, you go back to day 1. Remember, we are still on day 1. So you go back to day 1. Somebody needs to mute themselves. And then the last part is what I still need. What I still need. So I click on it. And when I click on it, it opens a place. And what I still need is, now that you've given us a narrative on the first part, what I learned, you've narrated what happened, and you still have some nagging questions. That's why you wrote them on what I'm still wondering about. What I still need may still be tied to number 2, what I'm still wondering about, because again, you are thinking further about your practice. You're thinking about where you come from. You're thinking about your environment. And you're saying, I still need to know more about this and this. So let's start this journal entry. So start or edit. I click on it. Okay. So I'll come here and it has opened, and I'll say, despite the good day we had and the learning that has occurred, I feel that I still need to know more about the legal framework of the TPD, as well as how the TSC will use it to promote, to reinforce. Okay, I also feel that I still need more skills. Can you please mute yourself? There's somebody who needs to be muted or thrown out. please mute yourself. So I also feel that I still need more skills on how to integrate ICT in my teaching. So here you're being honest that yes, you've told me this on this day, and I learned a lot. And I have also told you what I'm still wondering about. But at a personal level, I feel I still need 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, we are saying, don't write 2 sentences, 3 sentences, 4 sentences. Let it be something substantial. And then you come back here and say, save changes. If you do not save your changes, it means that there will be nothing that will be on the LMS. And there it is. Again, if you want to go back to it, you click on the same button and it will give you back the page and you'll be able now to edit your work. So the system tells us when you wrote this. For example, this is Monday, 11th July 2022 at exactly 11:27, and these are 57 words. Please mute yourself. So that means that now, once you have written those 3 parts, I can go back to day 1 so that we can see all of them. Once you have written, these are the reflections for day 1, okay, in terms of 3 parts. What I learned, 5 marks. What I still wonder about, 5 marks. What I still need, 5 marks. Now, all those now combined gives you reflections for day 1. Then you go to day 2. Remember the content that we took you through. Remember the discussions that we had. Remember what was learned. And that is what you are going to write on day 2. Okay, what I learned on day 2. Okay, what did you learn? Who took you through what? What strategies were used? And as a result of that, what were your takeaways? What exactly did you learn? Then you go again to what I still wonder about. Please mute yourself. Dr. Oyo?
I'm trying to mute him and he keeps on unmuting himself.
Please just remove him.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I still wonder about is, again, just like what we've discussed. Yes, you learned all these things on day 2. What are you still wondering about? What is still not clear? What are the nagging questions you have, especially in regard to your environment, your context, and your practice? Then, because of that, what do you still need? Either in terms of skills, either in terms of training, even in terms of what you need to unlearn. You know, there are times we come into trainings with a lot of learning, and when it is time now to question our beliefs, our values, and our attitudes, it is now time to unlearn that I still need maybe to change my attitude towards this and that. So what I still need is something where you have to be very honest with yourself. Is it something that you have always held to be true and which now you need to unlearn? What do you still need? Okay. Then you go to day 3 all the way up to day 5. The thread is the same. Those 3 questions form part of your reflections. What I learned, which is just a narrative, a narration, it's a story of what happened. But of course, ending with what were the key learnings of the day. Because again, don't just say, oh, Dr. Mwaniki came, she took us through this, that is a story. The question is, what did you learn? What were the key points that you carried home on that day? What are you still wondering about? Okay, are there some nagging thoughts that are still there? You know, especially when you think about where you come from, when you think about your practice as a teacher, when you think even, you know, about your skills as a teacher. And finally, what do you feel you still need? Is it to unlearn something? Is it to maybe get more skills to be able even to go through TPD? What do you still need? Now, once you have done those 3 parts in every day has these 3 questions, and those ones form your reflections. And Dr. Olivia will be telling you at the close of the day how TPD is going to be assessed But I can also tell you here that those 3 questions, or what we are referring to as the reflections for the 5 days, are going to give you a total of 15 marks. So what we'll be doing is every day we give one section 5 marks, 5 marks, 5 marks. Everything, of course, cumulatively, we divide by the number of the days. So those are 15 marks. Of course, the other marks will come from the e-portfolio that I'm going to show you very, very shortly how to create. And then there will also be something called a final paper. Okay, so those are the reflections, and that is what you'll be doing on the learning management system. Okay, now, the other thing after the day 5, okay, when you've written your day 5, is what we call the portfolio.
Excuse me, Daktari, Harriet is presenting.
Could you please stop presenting, Harriet? Has she stopped? Dr.
Here?
Oyo?
No, she has not
Not
stopped.
yet. Hasn't stopped.
Just remove her because we again we
I
cannot.
believe she has stopped.
Okay.
She has stopped.
Oh, thank you. Again, now, once you have done your reflections, then the last part is what we call the e-portfolio. Now, the e-portfolio is a storehouse for all your TPD artifacts. It is, somebody needs to mute themselves. Please mute yourself. So the e-portfolio is like the notebook that your students have. Dr. Oyo, you have somebody else to remove, please. So when you go for your face-to-face classes, your students have their notebooks and they organize work well on those notebooks. If I remember my days as a high school teacher, teachers of mathematics would tell, even as a student, they would tell you to draw a line in the middle of your book so that you write on one side and on the other side, just to make up for, orderly way of doing things. When we write on our boards as teachers, we don't start from the middle, then we go to the center, then we go to the end. There's some orderly way that we organize the board. Now, when we are online and we need to have certain materials online, again, it is good that we have our materials organized in a good way. So an e-portfolio is like that notebook that you have. It is what carries all your learnings, all your artifacts, anything you have learned, you have done on TPD, so that should somebody ask you, or should you even want to refer to it later, you just need to go to your drive on your email and you get all your TPD artifacts there. So I'll be showing you how to come up with this e-portfolio. And this is not just for TPD. Of course, for our purposes here, we are learning for TPD. But as I said on day 1, when we were training you on how to come up with a NE portfolio, we said that in 21st century, it is good practice to have all your important documents online, on the clouds, because your computer can get stolen, your gadgets can get stolen, and now you do not know how to, even the external disks that we use to save the information on our computers, it can also get stolen or get corrupted because of viruses. And therefore, what we are saying is that we need also to make it a habit. Remember, TPD is first and foremost meant to make us better teachers. It all feeds back to the learner. But even at a personal level, all this learning we are doing, this networking, the socialization, is also meant to make us better teachers, better people.
Daktari, please,
Is someone talking?
please share your screen.
Dr. Oyo?
Yes, they are talking about sharing a screen, which I believe you have not started sharing, so I don't know why they are complaining.
No, I think it was disorganized by that person who was sharing. So again, allow me to. So what I was saying is that we need to, just 1 minute. Please confirm that you can see my screen, Dr. Oyo.
Yes.
It's now okay. Now okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I was still on, this part here, because at the end of it all, we'll still come back to this part. And I was talking more about, now can somebody mute yourselves, please? Dr. Oyo, we cannot continue like this.
Yes, I'm being a bit lenient with them, not to remove them, but I think
No,
now
no,
before
no,
to
no, we
remove
can't.
each and every person who is okay. I'll remove all of them now.
It is
Daktari,
delaying.
please just feel comfortable to remove, because we already asked them to mute and to put
Okay,
off the
I will
video. So
remove
don't
them.
feel bad that you remove anyone.
Okay, let me remove them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Olivia and Dr. Oyo. We are teachers, so I think if we cannot maintain simple instructions, personally, I wouldn't have any qualms removing them, because again, it means we will not move on. So again, what I was saying is that in as much as the e-portfolio is meant to help us store all the things that we are going to do in TPD, it is also important for us as individuals at a personal level to know how to also manage our documents online. Because I've kept on saying that when you are able to store all your documents on the cloud, it means that even if you are to move outside the country and you need your CVs, you need your certificates, you need all those things, you have scanned them and they're on the clouds, and all you need is internet and the next available machine, and you download them, you print them, and you have your documents. So remember, when you have created your e-portfolio, and I'll be showing you how to create one, finally, you are going to bring it here. This is where you are going to bring it, where you can see the word e-portfolio submissions. This is where we are going to bring it. So I will now move away from the learning management system, but we have seen how to move all the way from the first step here, where we came to the search button here, clicked on it, and we wrote TPD 102. And we have come to where the content is. Remember, this is now, Dr. Oyo. So then there's chapter 2 and 3 content there. We have access and motivation, and we have seen how to get into that space and write. Then there is online socialization, and we have seen the buttons to click. And then the most important things, the reflections of the day. And we have said that you are going to do this every day. So day 1, you have those 3 parts that you need to get in and write. And we have said that we are going to write many sentences, not 2, not 3. Then we go to day 2, we do the same thing. Day 3, the same thing. Day 4, the same thing. Day 5, the same thing. Then we also need to submit our e-portfolio. And I'll be talking more about this e-portfolio when I go to where we will be showing you how to come up with it. But once it is ready and you have generated a link, that link you'll come and click on the e-portfolio submissions, and then I'll show you exactly what to do. Now, one key thing I've said is that as you go along the TPD or on this system, the system gives you points. For example, you can see on this side here, I have a 4. I am now at level 4. So I'm not a starter, I'm not a beginner, because I have put some contribution at access and motivation. I have gone to online socialization and I've put something. I have gone to the reflections for day 1 and I've written something. That is why the system is giving me a pink star with a 4. and it keeps giving you stars to motivate you. Now, before I leave this LMS, allow me to say that we also allow for inclusivity on this learning management system. If you look at the left-hand side, you can see a tab with the words accessibility. Now, this word accessibility means that we are catering for needs of people, our students, our participants, who may need to change the setting of this LMS one way or the other. For example, there are people who, when they look at the white screen, you know, it's too white, it hurts their eyes. And they are the ones who would come to this part here with an A, where there is high contrast that they need, and put it like that. And you can see now the whole screen becomes black. Okay. Now, if you want to make it blue, again, you do like that, and the screen becomes blue. If you want to magnify, so all this button is for those who need bigger fonts, who need the screen maybe to be dull, not to be screaming white, and you can keep, you know, changing them. Like this one, you can use it to, you know, make the fonts bigger, depending on the way you want. And you can also take it, you can also take it back to the white color. I want to bring your attention also, especially those who may be visually impaired. There's a button here. It's not very visible because the color looks white. It's called Launch at Bar. Launch at Bar. When you are on your learning management system, Launch at Bar gives an opportunity for the system to read back to you. If, for example, you cannot read yourself. If I activate it, I click on it, it gives me some icons at the top here. It tells me at bar, then there's some, some many tiny buttons here. And if I want to use the one for text to speech, for example, I can, let me look for some writing because I would want it to read for me. I highlight that and then I say text to speech, and I decide whether I want a man to read for me or a lady. If I decide to use Microsoft David, it means that you get a man's voice. I click on it.
Being able to access and navigate the learning management system quickly and easily is important in online learning. So are your attitudes towards online learning and how you relate with peers and facilitators during a course. Since you may be separated by space and time from your facilitators and colleagues most of the time, it is imperative that you know that you can get learner support if need be. The purpose of this section, therefore, is to.
So I had only set it for that one set, but at least what you get to know is that even if you have a learner who is visually impaired and therefore who cannot be reading a lot, you can activate that part of the learning management system. It is called accessibility button, and it is right here. You can change your screen whichever way you want. If you don't like the white, if you prefer high contrast. So that is what we do. We also, maybe for any participant who is visually impaired, we could also help you get the NVDA reader. Okay, and that is why, of course, we'll be sharing most of the materials in PDF so that it becomes easy for that app to read for the visually impaired. So that is all for the learning management system. Remember, I'll come back to show you how to place the e-portfolio here. So you'll allow me now to stop sharing that and to go back to sharing another part. And this time I want to very quickly show you how to create, okay, how to create your e-portfolios. Now, remember the assumption behind this is that you have what we call an email, okay? The assumption behind this is that you know how to operate an email because it is going to be hinged on your email. So I have opened my email, never mind what you can see. So I have opened my email. Dr. Oyo, please confirm that I can see I'm presenting. I think that's okay. So once I open...
Yes, Doc, you're presenting.
Thank you. You open your email. So I say the assumption is that you have an email because we will be looking at the drive that is domiciled within your, your Google email. If you don't have an email, I think that now those are more details that you can sort out from your end. So you go to your email. On the right side, you have some 9 dots. You see where my cursor is? Let me just try to increase this. Okay, so we have these 9 dots here. These 9 dots here are referred to as Google Apps or the Google Suite. Not suit like the one you're wearing, but S-U-I-T-E, Google Suite, or just the Google Apps. And this is the first point in coming up with your e-portfolio. You will click on these 9 dots, and when you click on that, it gives you another dialog box, which is quite long and which has very many Google Apps that educators can use. But for our purposes today, we are only interested in the drive. This colorful triangle here is called the drive. Okay, so I'll click on the drive. And when I click on the drive, this is the space that I get. Now, my drive is a bit congested because I have very many things. Remember, I have kept on saying that a drive is a storehouse for all your documents, for all your photos, for any document you think is important. So mine is congested because I have been using this space for a very long time. So it has very, very many things. It has questionnaires. It has, all the things that I consider very, very important. So if I was to go to another place where I do not have my computer and I needed maybe something to do with my department, all the important things about my department are here. If I wanted something on Jesse, some consultancy work maybe I'm doing, I'll get it there. If I want, maybe I've been teaching a class this, or maybe the course outlines. So all these things are in my drive. So all I need is internet and I'll be able to access my documents. If you ask me for a photo, a latest photo, maybe I'll give you this one. So I'll just download it and send it to you. So what I'm saying is that in as much as the drive stores our TPD artifacts, you could also use it to store your very, very important documents. So now we are at the drive. And if you have not been using this space, then yours is likely to be not so congested like mine. So up to that point, we have opened our drive. Now, the next step is to create a TPD folder. And that folder is the one that we'll be sharing with our facilitator on the learning management system. So how do you create a folder? Please listen twice. You will look at the left-hand side where we have the colorful drive again and a very colorful plus sign. And because we are adding or starting something new, we will always click the add button here that is very colorful. So we are coming up with a folder where we are going to store all our TPD artifacts. So you go to the plus sign and click on new because we are creating a new folder. So you click on new And immediately there's a dialog box that opens with very many options. And ours is to create a new folder. So you can see there's the word folder here with an icon with a plus sign, meaning that you are adding. So you come here and click on folder, and immediately you find that a folder is in the process of being created. So you need to label this folder appropriately. So you can say, you put your name, maybe Assumpta Mwangi, ESC number 351456. So when you are giving that folder, the name, it is good to put your name and put your TSC number. Then you can even just say e-portfolio folder, or just TPD folder, whatever. Let's say TPD folder. Once you have labeled it well, you've given it a name, then it is time now to finalize its creation by clicking on the word create. So you click on create. And immediately you realize that the folder has been added to your drive. So the folder is here. And because it is new, it looks bluish, just to differentiate it from the others that have been there, so that you don't have to keep looking for it. So this is the folder. Now, remember, this folder has nothing. We have just created it. So if we want to add something onto it, you click on it twice to open. You double click to open. And now you can see it is Assumpta Mwangi TSC number, blah, 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 TPD folder. And it is already telling you that there are no files here. So can you either drop files here or use the new button to drag files here. So this is a folder. It has nothing. So we need to start uploading the first file. Now, somebody needs to mute themselves or to be removed. So the first thing you need to note here is that because the TPD folder is going to have all your TPD artifacts, it then means that you will have typed them somewhere, either on your phone or on your computer. Like, for example, if you write the reflections for day 1, it means that you may need to carry them and save them in your, in your e-portfolio. Or maybe there are some other materials that you have already typed, or you, for example, have done the TPD action plan. It is on your computer, and now you want to bring it here so that when you're sharing this folder on the learning management system with your facilitator, all the things that you have done in TPD are there. So how do we drop the files here, or how do we bring them? Again, we go to the left side here. And what we are going to do, because we are going to do something new, is to click on the word new. So you click on the new. And now we are not going to the folder because we are not coming up with a folder. We are not creating a folder. It is already there. What we want to do is to upload a file. So we are going to click on File Upload, and you can see the icon is that one of uploading something. So you click on File Upload. Now, unfortunately, because of privacy, when you click on File Upload, you are not able to see the files on my computer. But what has happened is that my computer has opened all the documents in my computer. But you're not able to see that. And I said, Google does that for privacy. Okay, so once you now have all the files opened, you decide which file you want to bring there. Okay, and here you can listen and maybe just write some notes because you know, you may not be able to see what I'm seeing. And when my my folders are, my files are open, I can decide to pick that one. So you click on a file, and then below it, you click on the word open. So I click on the word open, and automatically you can see here, the system is telling you that something is being uploaded. And once the upload is complete, it tells you, so you can now close that. So already I have uploaded a file to do with TPD. That is just the first file. You can put as many files as possible here because that is what you're going to do. Maybe reflections for day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, put together. So those are like 5 files. Then you may also put the TPD action plan. Then you may also put the final, assignment, the paper that just talks about overall everything, how it went, and Dr. Olivia will be speaking about that later on. So to add another file, you follow the same steps. You go to the left where there's the word new. We are doing a file upload. So you click on file upload. Then you can pick another file. So the computer will open, you're not able to see this, and you can click on any file. Then below it, click on the word open, and immediately it is uploaded. You can see it is coming. Okay. It is finishing the upload. So once it has finished, there it is. It's a Word document. Okay. Then you can also decide to upload still another one. So you go to new, then file upload. Your computer opens to very many things, and therefore I might decide to, I click on a file and I say open. So I think we can work with 3 for now. So you give it time to upload, okay? Give it enough time to upload, and you can see the upload is complete. So far, I have 3 files within my folder. I have the first one here, then I have the one in Word document, and then I have this one. So you can upload as many as possible, okay? Somebody needs to be muted or thrown off. So you keep uploading as many as possible. But now the thing, please, could you mute yourself? Now, once you have put enough folders, and of course, when I talk about enough, I'm talking about the required ones. So your reflections for the 5 days, the TPD action plan, the last assignment that Dr. Olivia will be talking about, and anything else that you have done in the course of your TPD. So once now you have placed all those there, it is now time to share that folder. Now, these steps are very, very important from now onwards. So please listen thrice. What you are going to do on that folder, you see where you have your name, TSC number, there's a drop down arrow. Okay, there's a drop down arrow. You click on it. And when you click on it, it gives you very many options. And some of the options, for example, you can open, you can put a new folder.
Sorry, Daktari, we've lost you.
Sorry, we've lost you.
Napotea daktari.
Daktari has been removed.
Just a minute. Let me find out what the problem is.
Dr. Yo. Dr. Yo.
Please.
Yeah, do not admit anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, until Dr. Wani comes on screen, because the room will be full. So don't admit anyone.
It's okay.
The challenges that go on in the internet.
Have you called her? Dr. Yo, have you called her?
Yes, I'm talking to her. Just a minute.
Okay. Bwana Sankale, please, can you turn off your video? Or should we remove you so that we allow others in? Please turn off your video, Mr. Sankale.
I think I'm back. I don't know. I got removed.
Yeah, you're back, Daktari. Thank you.
All right. I think what I'm going to do is to maybe go back. Dr. Oyo, could you please confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, Doc, I can.
Thank you. So now what we are saying is that you have already created your, your folder, and you have uploaded the files that you want to upload. And I said you can upload as many files as possible. All you need to do is just go to the new button here, click on file upload, and your computer opens to very many possibilities. Google doesn't allow you to see what is on my computer for obvious reasons. But once you have identified the file that you want, because your computer now is fully open and you can see all the documents on your computer, you just click on the word open and the document is brought here. Like you can see, I have just added a fourth one. So once you have done all the documents that you need to have here, it is now time to share. And how do you share? You share by coming to this drop-down arrow here, where your name is, and clicking on it, and it is going to open a dialog box with very many options. For example, you can share, you can get a link. I want to use the first one, which is to share, because the second one will still give you the same results. So if I say share, it opens a box like this one. And as I said, don't write anything here where it is written add people or groups, because you are not sharing it through the email. But if you were sharing it to other people through the email, that is when you'd type their email addresses here. For now, what we want for TPD purposes is to copy the link. But before you copy this link, please look at this part here. And I said here, we listen thrice. If you look at general access, you realize that it is restricted. So you need to click on the arrow there that opens up, and you can see now the two names or the two words, restricted and then Kenyatta University. If you leave it like that, your facilitator may not be able to read or to see your folder. So click on Kenyatta University. Okay, and immediately you click on Kenyatta University, it tells you that anyone in this group with the link can view. And that means that your facilitator will be able to view. So what you have done is to give access to your folder. You know, those who are in cohort 1 and cohort 2, many of them are sending work to the learning management system, but they are not giving access to their folders. So when you click on the folder, the first thing it tells you is, request for access. Because the folder is yours. So if you don't give me access, I'll not be able to look at your folder and give you marks. And the clearest and the surest way is to change from restricted to Kenyatta University. Because when you say restricted, it means that you have restricted your work and therefore a third party may not be able to see it. But you see, you want to give me access to this work so that I can mark. So you click on Kenyatta University. So the access is updated. Now, then, very, very important, on the right side here, you have the word viewer, but next to it, you have a drop down arrow that you need to click on. And when you click on it, it opens a dialog box that has viewer, commenter, and editor. Now, those are roles that you want to give the person who is going to view your document. Now, I would suggest that you always give your facilitator viewer role because all they need to do is see. But if you are sending this document through the email so that somebody else can put comments, maybe because you want to improve, then you'd give them the commenter role. So it will look like that, commenter. But we don't want to comment on your work. What we are doing is marking. So that role is not good for us. If you give somebody editor role, it means that you want them to be able to edit your document. Now, this one is usually used when you are on a project with people and you are writing a common paper and you want each person to edit their part or to write their part and then you combine the whole document. But that is not what we are doing in TPD. So what you are going to do is to give us viewer rights or roles only. So ensure that if you're using a computer, you have Kenyatta University here and it is set as viewer. Because I don't want to comment on your work. I don't want to edit your work. I just want to see it, read it, see how well organized it is, look at what you have put there, and I give you a grade. So leave it at viewer. So then you copy the link. This link is the one you are going to take to the learning management system so that when I click on it, I am brought to your folder. So you have now finished granting access and you have given me the viewer role and you have given me access to be able to look at your folder. The next thing now is to copy the link. So you're just going to click on copy link and automatically the link will be copied. Then you say done because you finished with it. Remember, I am carrying that link now and I want to take it to the learning management system. So I'm going to stop sharing
Dr.
this.
Please. Doctor?
Yes.
Yes, my hand was up. I needed to ask something about the phone. When you are using the smartphone, instead of finding Kenyatta, you are finding anyone with a link.
That is okay, but please let me finish. I'll pick those questions.
Please, I'm responding to some of your questions in the chat room. Kindly read what I've written on the chat room.
Do not, so that we have a smooth flow, do not interrupt the discussions. Dr. Oyo is there, should be responding, and we also have a chance later on to ask all those questions. Okay, so I am still carrying that link. So I'll go now to the learning management system. Remember the course TPD 102. Please, Dr. Ayo, confirm that you can see. I've gone back to the learning management system.
Yes, Doc.
Okay. Now, this is where you need to really observe what I'm doing.
Okay. I see. Yes. I haven't. I was meeting Kevin Wafula. Oh no. How do I unmute you? Can you unmute yourself?
Okay. Sorry. So this is technology, colleagues. I got muted there. I am not lost. I got muted. So, but I'm back now. So what I'm going to do is to share again. And I'm going back to the course TPD 102. Please again, Dr. Yo, confirm that you can see my the LMS. Okay, Dr. Yo?
We can see.
All right. So this is where I was saying that you need to now listen and look at this. So remember, I'm still carrying the link, and therefore, what I want to come and do is to place it here, e-portfolio submissions. So I'm going to come here and click on e-portfolio submissions, and it is going to open to this place here. Please look at this. Because you have not submitted anything, it is going to give you the date when this was opened. So I opened it on Sunday, 10th July. It is going to close on 30th October 2022. And in your status, there is no attempt because we have not yet uploaded anything here. It is going to give you the amount of days and hours remaining, but most importantly, it will give you a button to touch or to click so that you can submit your e-portfolio. So when I put my cursor here, it becomes green. So I need to click on this. So I click on Add Submission. And when I click on that, it gives me a place here to submit. Now, please note this. I can very easily place that link there. Remember, I am carrying that link. Okay, I can very easily place it there, but this is going to give your facilitators a very difficult time marking your e-portfolio because it means that they'll have to be picking this, then place it here on the address to get where you are, which is not good. So what you are going to come and do is to write your name. We used Assumpta Mwangi. Forgive me, Asunta, for using this. And the number was, I don't know, I can just say 351, I think 234. TPD e-portfolio. So you write your name very well, your TSC number. Of course, we know it is the e-portfolio that you want to upload. Now, then, and this is why you really have to be careful because most people are losing out on this. If you look at this space up here, let me see whether I'm able to make it bigger than that. If you look at this area here, you'll see very many icons. You can see the word paragraph, you can see the bold, italics, you can see the bullets. Now, there are some buttons here that may look white. They may not be very visible, but these buttons are very, very important because we are going to use one of them to hyperlink your work. Now, hyperlinking means picking on a group of words and superimposing a link on them so that the link can be carried by those words. So once you have written your name and your TSC number, then you need to highlight everything you've written here. And how do we highlight? You bring your cursor to the end here, and then you run through the whole sentence, like I've done. When you run it through, it becomes blue. And automatically you realize that these buttons here have now become active because they know that now you want to link. So you're going to use the first icon for linking. So I'm going to click on this button like that. And when I click on it, it opens a place now for me to place the link that I'm still carrying. So then I'll come here and either use Control V, or you can right click on your computer and then say paste. Or you can use Control V. So I have placed the link there. Then I come here and say insert. Once I click on insert, you realize that now Assumpta Mwangi TSC number, it is now permanently in blue. And as I said, anything in blue means that it is a hyperlink. It means that now we have placed the link to her e-portfolio on top of those words. And therefore, if we were to click on that, it will take us directly to where her folder is. Okay. Then you have now hyperlinked. The next step now is to come here and save changes. Ignore this part here, okay? Because we are not requesting you to upload any file. This part here, just ignore it, okay? The only part that is important is where you are writing directly and hyperlinking the link that you copied from the folder, and then you come and say, save changes. Remember, as I've kept on saying, if you do not say save changes, it means that it's going to be very difficult for the system to save your work. Now, once you say that, now look at what now the status has changed to. Before, the status was not submitted, but now it is telling you that there is a draft. Grading status, not graded. And you can see where we have placed the file. Now, it is telling you that it is a draft to give you time to think about it. And even down here, it is telling you that you can still make changes to your submission. For example, you can decide to edit the submission, and you can even remove it altogether at this point in time. Okay? If I say edit, for example, if I click on edit, it will take me back to where we started, this place here, so that maybe you can decide to do something to it again. Maybe you didn't write your TSC number properly, you can decide to change it, or maybe you want to remove the link. So now you use this button here and link. See? Now there's no link. Okay, so edit takes you back. And again, I'll go through the steps again. I said you come here and run through your cursor like that. Then you click on this first icon here that is written insert or edit link. It opens a place for you to place the link. You can Control V, or you can just right click on your computer and paste. Then you click on the word insert, and then the words and the names become blue, indicating that now those names are already carrying the e-portfolio. And then we ignore this part, we come here and save changes. Now, again, it is still a draft. And again, you can even remove it and do it one more time. If you say remove submission, it means that you start the process all over again. Now, if you are very sure that you now want to submit the work, the system tells you that once this assignment is submitted, okay, once you click on the, please mute yourself. Once you click on the submit assignment, you cannot make any more changes to that document. And that is why, you know, our system, because it is used by all our KU students, it's a very friendly system. It gives you time even to think about your assignment before you click on the submit assignment. So you can even leave it like that for 2 days as you think about it. Once you click on submit assignment, it is done. So we say submit assignment. But again, you realize this LMS now asks you, can you confirm Are you very sure that you won't submit your work for grading? You will not be able to make more changes. If you are not sure, cancel. If you are sure, say continue. And once you say continue, now even the status here changes. It is now submitted for grading, and it is going to tell you when your facilitator has graded, and you'll even get the grade there, and you can see this is it. So I'm looking at it from a student's or a participant's, perspective. If I go back to my role as a facilitator or as a lecturer in KU, I'll be able to see this properly and even grade it. But for you as a participant, this is what you'll see. So when I grade it, you'll be able to see here the grade, okay? And of course, that is what hyperlinking is all about. And you can see it's already ticked done because I've finished. And definitely after doing that, the system should be able to give me more marks, more motivation because I've done that part. So teachers, that is how you come up with an e-portfolio. You go to your email, click on the drive, add a folder, label it well, create it, then upload files, then you share. You copy the link and you come and bring it on the on the learning management system. I think with that, I come to the end of that presentation. We have learned quite a number of things. We started with being able, you see, the system has already congratulated me because I have posted my e-portfolio. I have now reached level 5, okay? And it's telling me, cool, thanks. And this is very motivating for participants. So we started by looking for the course here, where you click on this search button and you type TPD 102. Then we went to the actual course and we saw the rules, and we also saw where we can download our content, chapter 1 content, chapter 2 and 3. And then we went to the access and motivation, and we say that we can click here directly and greet our colleagues, welcome them, and just exchange some little, chit chat. Then we went to online socialization, where now you welcome people, you go beyond the introductions and know who is who. And we saw that you can click directly here and start discussing. Then we went to the reflections, and we say that every day there's going to be a reflection. And the reflection is going to be in terms of 3 things. 1, what I learned, where you give a narration of what happened in the course of the day. You say who took you through what strategies were used, and as a result of that, what did you learn? What I still wonder about, those are the nagging things, the nagging questions that you still have at the end of the day, despite what you have learned. And what I still need is where you become true to yourself and you ask yourself, is there anything I may need to unlearn? Is there anything, maybe in terms of my attitudes, my values, my beliefs, that I may need to change? Or maybe in terms of skills that I may need to acquire? And that is going to be replicated through the remaining 4 days. So every day at the end of it all, we have those 3 questions that we need to answer. Then finally, we have the e-portfolio submissions. And we have gone through step by step what we need to do. And we have gone to our email, we've clicked on the drive, we've created the folder, we have uploaded the files there, and then we have gone to share. Share, where we have given our facilitators roles as viewers, and we have also set it at Kenyatta University so that they can have access. And then finally, that link that has been copied, we've come here, we've clicked on this, and we have hyperlinked it. I think with that then, I come to the end of that presentation, and if there is any question, then I can pick it up. Somebody is asking about the presentations. Remember, we are recording, and that means that at the end of this, you'll be able to get this recording and maybe go through it one more time. So if there are any questions, Dr. Oyo, maybe I can
Yes,
write
Doc.
questions on the chat room, and Dr. Oyo will be able to maybe read out the questions. Over to you, Dr. Oyo.
Yes, Doc. Thank you so much for that very, very clear presentation. And I believe now we are okay in as far as accessing the learning management system is concerned, in as far as creating the e-portfolio is concerned. But for those people who I think joined our class late, maybe because of one reason or the other, I will be able to get
Sorry,
the
Dr. we are not
recordings,
getting
which
you.
you can actually listen to, and then very, very clearly.
Yeah, we are getting you with breaks.
Am I now being heard?
Yes, you are better now.
Okay, thank you. So, Doc, I don't think that there are very, very many nagging questions, but interestingly enough, let me just start with the one that I've just seen now, that somebody is asking what's the difference between an e-portfolio and a final reflective journal. Maybe you can start with that, but
okay. Now, maybe allow me to pick that and say that I'm well aware that in this group, Dr. Oyo, you are breaking off, so we have not been able to hear the last sentences.
He was asking. The difference.
Dr. Yo, we cannot hear you. Dr. we
Allow me
can't hear you at all.
I think I got very clearly that what is the difference between e-portfolio and reflective.
He's still talking, so you'll be talking at cross purposes. Let's just draw our attention to the fact that, okay. Yeah, you're saying something, Malimu?
Saying that I think I heard what she was saying, that what could be the difference between e-portfolio and the reflective journal, the final reflective journal. So I think that one also needs some clarification.
Is Dr. Maniki there? Now, the e-portfolio is your e-file. It's your e-file where you deposit all your reflections. You know, just like you can have a file, you can have a box file, you can have a Spring file, and then you're able to put in your documents inside that file. So in this case, the e-portfolio is your e-file, your electronic file where you deposit all your reflections. Now, the manner in which you deposit these reflections is very important. You cannot do your filing in a way that you can't retrieve your documents. And those who are in administration, I'm sure you resonate with what I'm saying quite well. Or even those who file their students, their children's school fees or report forms. You know what I'm talking about. You cannot have your child's report form for 2018 coming before the 2021. You know, there has to be order. You must do the filing in a systematic way, in an orderly manner. So this e-portfolio, we will mark the manner in which the filing has been done. Have you deposited? Have you, like you have been shown, have you uploaded your reflections in an orderly manner to demonstrate that you understood what you are doing? Or has it been done haphazardly? Has it been done in a way that someone cannot even follow what is going on? So I hope you have understood what The e-portfolio actually is the final reflection, so to speak. It's an accumulation of all your reflections now put together in a file that you call an e-file. In fact, you can choose to just call it an e-file, and you can choose to, visualize it as a box file or a Spring file that we all know. We put our documents in a file, and the filing has to be done in an orderly manner so that when you're looking for a document, you can easily access it. I hope I've been able to respond to that question.
Yeah, I think so. Olivia?
Yes, Doc. I don't know whether I can be heard. I think I have a problem with my network.
Yes, you can be heard now, Dr. Yo. Yes.
Can I be heard? Thank you so much, Dr. Olivia, for that clarification. Somebody was asking, Dr. Olivia, could you please respond also to this one? Like many of them have been trying to log in into the Kusoma platform, and they have not been able to, and therefore they're asking, who is allowed to log into Kusoma platform? Does it mean anybody with a TSC number?
The Kusoma platform is accessible. Yes, here I am to respond. I want to make it very fast so that we can allow Dr. Manuki to rest and the rest to enjoy the holiday. The Kusoma platform, dear colleagues, is accessible to anyone who has paid us. You have a TSC registration number because your password, your username is your TSC number. So you must have your TSC number and you must have a correct password. You must have changed your password like has been explained by Dr. Moniki. Then you will access the Kusoma platform. At some point, we block Harriet. Harriet, please mute. Can I remove you? Harriet Jangwesa. At some point, Haron. Let me see if I can mute you. Yeah, now, at some point, we bar you from accessing the Kusoma platform because you have not paid us. Remember, this is a service we are providing. I know what I'm saying is now a bit uncomfortable, but it has to be said. So we may block you from accessing our Kusoma platform because you have not met your financial obligations. But if you have paid and you still cannot access the Kusoma platform, it could be that you have forgotten your password, and so you just need to do an email. I will put the email address in the chat forum and ask for a password reset. Ask us to reset your password. And when we do, you don't even have to call back. You will just be able to access the platform. So for those reasons, you may not be able to access the platform. Either you haven't paid, you are using the wrong password, or there's just a system dysfunctionality from your end, and so you can't access the platform. Dr. Yo, I think that resolves that, answers that question.
Yes, even though I'd also responded in the chat, but I think they needed to hear somebody talk, maybe for those people who are not able to read what I had written. And some participants in this group, I think this is a concern, are lost, if I may use that word, because they are in cohort 2 and they are finding themselves in cohort 3.
Yes, that's okay. Participants, we sent out this to everyone who needed to have a go at, needed to listen again to how to access, how to navigate the Kusoma platform. You may be in cohort 1, you may be in cohort 2, you needed to, again, listen to instructions on how to navigate the Kusoma platform. So this was open to everyone to log in and benefit. And indeed, there are those who are saying now, I enrolled in December, I enrolled in April, but I can now do my reflections. There are those who shared their reflections by sending them via email to their respective facilitators, which is not acceptable. If you do that, then your facilitators, Google Drive, will be overwhelmed, will be full with reflections. And that's why we said upload this on the Kusoma platform. And you have been shown how to do that. So if you're here, you belong to cohort 1, you belong to cohort 2, there are various reasons. There are even those who enrolled in December 2021, but did not participate at all because of one reason or the other. We all have individual differences. And so they have chosen to start with the cohort 3 participants, those who are beginners. So that is not a problem. If you belong to cohort 2, you belong to cohort 1, and you're here to just remind yourself on how to log into the Kusoma platform, how to upload your reflections, then it is okay. But if you strongly feel you are in the wrong group on the WhatsApp platform, do an email. The email address is there on the chat forum. Do an email and request that you are placed in the right WhatsApp group. Any other question?
Thank you, Doc. I think we have a number of people who still have issues because you can see they have raised their hands. Maybe we can pick maybe on a few who have burning issues. That you may need to respond. Let me start.
Maybe as you pick some, Dr. Oyo, there's one I've seen, maybe I could respond to it. Somebody is asking, are reflections done after a session? And allow me to say that reflections are written after every day. So because we have 5 days in TPD, it means that after every day's session, you've got to write those 3 sentences that I talked about. I learned. Okay, so it means that after every day, you've got to write those 3 sentences. What I learned, what I'm still wondering, and what I still need. So you do not have to wait until the end of the session to write them. You can write them immediately at the end of the day, but those 3 questions have to be answered every day. And I want to connect that to somebody else who is asking, if we write our reflections directly on the learning management system, how then do they go to the e-portfolio? Well, it's simple, copy and paste. Okay, highlight whatever you have written on the learning management system and go and copy it on a Word document, then upload that file to the e-portfolio. Or you could just start by typing it directly somewhere, either on your computer, and then copy and you go paste on the learning management system. So that now whatever file is left on the computer, your Word document, you can upload it as a file to your e-portfolio. So it's simply a case of copy and paste, whatever you find easier. I think lastly, maybe from my end, there are those who are asking about what if I'm using the phone. Now, I have already seen on the cohort 3 WhatsApp group a very nice video from some of you training some of their colleagues who are using the phone on how to go through the steps. So I guess that's the video that we'll share, because now, even if I was to use the phone here, there is no way I would demonstrate because I cannot share my phone, you know, like the way I'm sharing my documents. Okay, but of course it means that you must have the drive. You must have the drive on your phone. If you don't have it, you download, or you must have activated your email on your phone, and then the steps become easy. So I think I give now the opportunity to Dr. Olivia maybe to talk more about the assessments, the assignments, and the timelines for them. Thank you, and over to you, Dr. Olivia.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Monique. Yeah, if please mute, colleagues. I don't know why we unmute. To unmute, you have to click a button. So why do you unmute? Margaret.
I have a very important concern, Daktari, please.
Okay.
It's Dora.
All right, go, Dora, proceed.
Thank you, Daktari. Now, I registered on December. Took my sessions, then missed out on the action plan because I had an appointment. So I attended the session on the action plan with Dr. Kariuki in April. Meanwhile, I did not submit my reflections because I did not know how to navigate the Kusoma platform. Now, I am aware you've done a very good presentation. Thank you. So now, who do I submit my reflections to? Thank you.
Okay.
You will submit wherever you are able to submit. You will submit, because I believe if you go to TPD 100, your name is still there, and you can still submit your reflections. Do not worry about whether it goes to Dr. Kariuki or Dr. Mwani. The system will still place you in a group, and somebody will be able to read your reflections and then grade them. So not
Thank you
to worry.
very much. Thank you.
Over to you, Dr. Olivia.
Yeah, I'm trying to just share. I'm trying to share something, just one slide on the criterion. Yeah, we can continue to ask questions even as I do this.
Do you want me to share from my end?
Okay, and please just share slide number.
Let me see whether I have it fast to start with.
Yeah, you showed it in your drive. You can share slide number on scoring of TPD program. I think that's all I need to share so that we don't take so much time.
I think this is the final assignment that some of them are asking about. We needed you to comment on this, and then the scoring. This final synthesis. Allow me to just make it a little bit smaller so that it fits. Okay.
Yeah, so participants, the final synthesis, the final seminar, as conceptualized by the Teacher Service Commission, considers that even as you consume this content, the knowledge that you are acquiring, the skills that you're acquiring, and I want to just encourage you to be very, very keen on this skills acquisition. What you have learned now in as far as managing your Google Drive is a skill you can be able to use not just on the Kusoma platform, but even as you store your own files, your certificates. Dr. Manike showed you a picture that if somebody asked her to share, she would quickly share. So you're learning skills that you can use outside these learning sessions. And so I am saying that it is assumed that once you learn, Martin, please mute. It's difficult to talk and somebody is not muted. Once you learn new learning strategies, you learn learner-centered pedagogy, for instance. You learn ways of assessment, ways of focusing on formative assessment, much more than summative assessment. You are expected, Doctor, you just assist me in muting. I'm trying to multitask and it's difficult. All right. Hey, colleagues, can we mute? Can we just mute? It's 10 minutes and we'll be out of this. Just mute. mute yourselves so that we are all on the same page. Okay. Yeah, so I'm talking about your ability to put into practice whatever knowledge, whatever skills that you have acquired. And so it is expected that at your school, in your own context, in your schools, you will be able to practice all this that you have acquired. And so you will be able to even take video recordings of your teaching, of your content delivery, and perhaps how it has changed. Because this whole idea of TPD is supposed to bring a change in your mode of delivering content. It's supposed to enhance your skills as a teacher. So if, for instance, you have decided to change the sitting arrangement in your classroom to encourage a collaborative environment, a conducive environment where learners are sitting looking at one another and they can discuss in groups, or they can engage in some very interactive learning activities. You could take pictures of that. Of course, you must also bear in mind the ethical considerations. You can take pictures in a way that is not revealing. And this can also be posted as your e-portfolio, in addition to the reflections. So we are saying that milestones, achievements that you gain in the process of this TPD course, should be shared with others. The change that you experience, the change of mindset, the change in activities that you do in school, you need to be able to share that as well as part of your e-portfolio. So that really is the final synthesis. It's part of the e-portfolio, which, remember, we said is an accumulation of all the reflections. Now, that done, Dr. Monique, if you can just move to the slide that has the allocations. No, that one. I think this was explained. The one that has allocations of TPAD, TPD.
That's the one?
No, there's another one. There's another one.
That's all I have. Because this one is the one that shows that TPAD will take 40%.
Mm-hmm.
The modules 40, the journals 15, the final paper that will be on the e-portfolio 10, and the portfolio itself 15.
Yes, this is it. This is it. I was looking for the teacher training programs offered, but yes. So, colleagues, this is how the TPD points, and please let's train ourselves not to call these marks. They are TPD points. Just like in other professionals, lawyers gain points, they garner points, they accumulate points. The HR professionals also accumulate points. So your teacher professional development points will earn you 40 marks. You're supposed to get 40 marks if you exceed expectations. Another 40 marks will come from TPAD, and you all are engaged in TPAD already. TPD. So TPAD then gives you 40. I don't know what it was before and whether it has changed. Then there's another 20. There's another 20 that will be derived from teacher training programs offered by other providers who work in collaboration with the commission. This is to say, even as you engage in TPAD, which you have done for a while, as you participate in the TPD program, it is also expected that you participate in other training programs that seek to enhance your knowledge, your skill, and change your attitude. And this means then that you're going out of your way, because TPAD is already taking a bit of your time, TPD, CBC training, and all that. So your ability to stretch and participate in other programs will also earn you marks, 20 marks. And my own interpretation here, and I am confident it is right, when you participate in the CBC training programs, your 20 marks may come from there, because CBC, Jen, please mute. Jen Wahome, kindly mute. So when you participate in CBC training, then you'll be able to get 20 marks. So 40 from TPAD, 40 from TPD, and 20 from other trainings. Remember, the service provider, whoever is providing that training, must be working in collaboration with the commission, must be certified by the commission, so to speak. So we are saying you cannot go in your community and do some course that TSC maybe does not recognize, and then you will want the 20 marks that is allocated for that. So ensure that whatever other program, teacher training program, you engage in search of the 20 marks is offered by a service provider that works with the commission. This is not us, this is not KU saying this is what TSC requires. And so you need to abide by it. I think, Daktari, my task is done, unless there are other questions. Yes, semester, SMASE training, all that. Thank you. You have understood this very well. All those organizations that work in collaboration with the Teacher Service Commission. And please, when you go for these trainings, ensure you keep your admission letter, ensure you have evidence of having attended those trainings. If there is a registration form, always make sure you have filled that registration form. If there's somewhere to sign, you can take a picture of the point at which you have signed as evidence that you attended those trainings. How TSC will collect this information, we do not know as service providers, but I'm sure they will communicate with you on how the 20 marks will be allocated. Any other questions?
Yes, I have a burning issue.
Please ask.
Okay, last time I did one, I did my reflections and even went ahead to submit to the e-portfolio. So the concern is what I submitted was on, of course, that there was a mix of the work of TPD 101. So what will happen since I did the submission?
Now, can you just redo it, because already you have the content. You have the content, and now it's clear to you how that submission should be done. Just redo it rightfully. I think that will cut a long story short. About admission. Now let's do this, colleagues. If we are to benefit from other questions, make it short. Just make it very, very brief so that we take as many questions as possible. Rael?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes?
Okay, Amalis. Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, Amalis Wero, and I'm one of those that missed the July session because we went for readers' conferences. Just asking whether we are going to get makeup lessons later in the term.
We offered makeup sessions for all those who missed the April session because of several reasons. And we didn't get many participants responding. The makeup sessions, dear participants, are costly. Yeah. And so we don't want to encourage you to miss the regular sessions because we will offer a makeup session. If we go that way, it's going to be very, very expensive for us, because when facilitators show up for the makeup sessions, we need to compensate their time. So please try and participate in the regular sessions. We will see what to do to make sure you are up to date.
Yes, please.
But the best you can do is to join a relevant session if you missed it. Because always, as the sessions are offered, you will always find session 1 being offered to one cohort or the other. So you can find a way of just logging in and seeing how you can catch up with the content that is being delivered. Admission letters, self-download your admission letter if you have paid us. If you haven't paid, you'll not be able to download the admission letter. So there is a link that you just click on and then follow the instructions and you can download your admission letter. How much? The course costs 6,000. The introductory module, which you are participating in now, costs Kenya shillings 6,000. Every session costs 2,000. So cohort 1 should by now have paid 6,000 Kenya shillings. Cohort 2, 4,000 Kenya shillings. Those who are joining now should have paid 2,000. Those who started in December will do reflections for TPD. No. Can you do your reflections on TPD 100? Because the infrastructure is there. Those who joined in December, go to TPD 100. We have not yet archived it. And you'll be able to upload your reflections there, your December session reflections on that platform. Where is the link to download the admission letter? I will post it in the WhatsApp, in the chat forum before. But if I don't, just email TPD coordinator, request for the link, and it will be emailed back to you. I'll also post it in the WhatsApp groups. Any other question?
Hello, Daktari.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Hello?
Yes.
Yes, this is Purity Wahogo. I have posted in the chat. My concern has not been responded to. My concern is I am in December cohort 1. I submitted my work on 30th March, but I had a problem with how to create a link. But to be on the safe side, I used now a different method. So I submitted my work in form of PDF files in a very different way. And I think that is the reason why my work is still not yet graded. Now, my concern is I may not be able to access the e-portfolio because I've already submitted. Is there a way the e-portfolio can be made accessible to those of us? Because I've seen so many of us in the chat are having that concern. Thank you.
Dr. Moniki.
Okay, I can take that one.
Yeah, please take that one.
Okay, thank you. So, Purity, what you would need to do is to request your facilitator for the December session, the one who was supposed to mark your e-portfolio, to remove the submission. We are able to do that from our end, so we are able to remove it. Or if you could give me, who was your facilitator's, what was the name?
Dr. James Koske.
Okay.
Hello,
So
Dr. James Koske.
Okay. TSC number?
389.
No, there was some noise.
Sorry.
Yes.
389 124.
Okay. So if you have access to Dr. Kosgei, please just tell him to remove your submission so that you can resubmit. I know what you're saying because even some of my participants actually uploaded files directly. And you know, the problem with that is that we get our computers full of files because once you click on a file, it automatically downloads to your computer, which is not what we want to see. But it is possible that we can revert your submission to a draft and then now you are able to work on it from there.
So
that
the e-portfolio will be now free to, I can be able to get into the portfolio
I've
in the
told you what to
LMS.
do. I have told you
Yes.
what to do and what will
Yes.
happen, and after that you'll be able now to resubmit.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I think what you can do is make a request also. I've posted that email address, even as someone is screaming, please post the email address. I have posted it so many times, I think 5 times. Huh? So also make a request that you'd want the content you uploaded removed so that you can upload afresh. Then we can appeal to, we can draw the attention of your facilitator to that. Just do a clear email address. Please remove the content. I wish to re-upload fresh content onto the Kusoma platform. The email address is right there.
Dr. Olivia, the other concern I've seen is people are asking, what is this TPD 100, 101, 102, and what are the differences?
Yeah, thank you. Now, TPD 100 is where we began. Remember that those who joined us in December 2021, as soon as TSC made the call, they responded and they joined us in December 2021. So that is the platform they were using to upload their reflections and to access all the resources, the PowerPoint presentations, and to some extent to access links to sessions like this one. That is December participants. Cohort 1 participants were on that platform. Then in April, we received another group that we labeled Cohort 2. So we created another platform known as TPD 101. Just labels so that we know which group is where. So now this TPD 101 it's supposed to host both Cohort 1 and Cohort 2 participants. For the Cohort 1 participants, and please, like Dr. Moniki says, listen 3 times. I had that for the first time and I think I like it. Listen keenly. So for Cohort 1, they will access which resources, chapter 2 and 3 of the introductory module, because this is their second, that is their second session. So TPD 101 is accessible to Cohort 1 participants, but for them to upload reflections on chapters 2 and 3 of the introductory module. For Cohort 2 participants, TPD 101 is accessible for them to upload reflections for chapter 1 because they joined us in April 2022. So they can access chapter 1 resources, PowerPoint presentations, their facilitators, and their links to platforms like this one. Please mute. Alice, please mute. Evelyn Namwamba. Now, TPD 102 is where we are this season. That's where we all are. Cohort 1 participants are there. Cohort 2 participants are there. Cohort 3 participants are also on TPD 102. But when you get onto the platform, you find your route to the right group. If you are TPD, if you're Cohort 3, then you need to navigate your way to session 1, chapter 1 resources. And you need to navigate your way to the platform where you can upload your reflections on chapter 1, because that is what you have learned, teacher professionalism, and largely how to upload how to create your portfolios, your reflections, and upload them. Cohort 2 participants should navigate their way to chapters 2 and 3 on TPD 102. because that's their concern, chapters 2 and 3. That's what they learned in July, cohort 2 participants. Remember, everyone is on TPD 102. Everyone is on that platform, all the cohorts. Now, the last cohort, cohort 1 should navigate their way to chapters 4 and 5 of the introductory module, the last sections of the introductory module. So I'm sure now you understand how, if you joined in April, you still need to have presence where TPD 101 and TPD 102. But you must navigate your way the way you have been shown to the right place to access the correct resources, to access the correct PowerPoint presentations. If you get lost, then you'll find yourself in another group. So you must ensure you are at the right place. The platform is the same, TPD 102, but find your way to your group so that you can upload your reflections at the right place. I hope that answers that question. Kindly give us a platform to write to facilitators, to remove our previous. I have posted the link, colleagues. I have posted the email address. Let me post it again. TPD coordinator. You can even write it down. TPD-coordinator at ku.ac.ke. Right, to request that whatever you posted is removed and that you wish to repost your reflections and your e-portfolio once again.
Maybe one more last one, Dr. Opere. I've seen somebody ask whether you can change institutions halfway. For example, can you do one chapter, then go to another institution, or can somebody who has already started, let's say, introductory module, maybe with another service provider, change and come to KU? Maybe your thoughts on that?
I will say, yes, you can come to KU. I don't know. I can't say yes to you can leave. I will say yes, you can come to KU, but you will have to work very hard to catch up. Why I'm saying this? We do not have structures for transfer of credits, for transfer of TPD points from KU to Mount Kenya, from Mount Kenya to Riara or Kemi. We don't have that. We don't have those structures yet, because wherever you are, maybe you paid. And I do not think if somebody came to us and said, please give us 2,000 shillings, transfer 2,000 shillings to us because this participant was with us in December, it will bring a lot of confusion. So please, I know you may be uncomfortable in some of those other platforms, and you want to join us. What you need to do is to try and catch up. You need to try and catch up with the rest. Or if, and I'm not promising, there's a makeup session, then you quickly need to join that makeup class and see whether you can be at par with the rest. Transferring of TPD points, we don't have the structures. Face-to-face sessions will be offered from 2023. Initially it was said that we may have it in December, but I doubt because of elections and what comes with it. But so let's just say the face-to-face sessions, which target TPD module level 1, will be offered when we complete the introductory module. And that reminds me, very important, please share this with your colleagues. There is no other opportunity this year for us to take in participants for TPD introductory module. This July was the last one. Please tell your colleagues, this was the last one. And not only us, all the service providers. So, if we get a good number of requests, then we may offer a makeup session to cater for those who didn't enroll, because there's no other chance. Cohort 3, are taking their first session, or rather took their first session in July. Cohort 2 will do that. They will do their second session in September and the last one in September. That's why we cannot take in a new group in September. That means they finish next year. The introductory module must be completed this year. So if you convince your colleagues, tell them there's no other opportunity and we get a good number. Nzioki, can you mute? We get many participants requesting to join. We may consider, let me mute Nzioki, we may consider offering makeup sessions for them to catch up.
I have a question, Dr. Olivia.
Yes.
I have been posting my reflection. I have been writing my reflection directly, but I've never posted any portfolio. Does that mean I cannot get any mark? That is the first question. Then
I didn't hear that. Say that again. You have been?
I've been writing my reflection directly in the RMS, but I've not been posting in the e-portfolio. So I don't know. So but that means for the two sessions, 100 and 101, I've not been graded. I mean, I have done all the session. I have been posting the reflection directly because I didn't know how to post
directly where? Isn't that what Dr. Moniki has spent hours and hours explaining? What do you mean directly in the e-portfolio? The e-portfolio in itself needs to be uploaded.
I've been typing directly in LMS. And then
where? On which platform? TPD 101, TPD 100, TPD 102?
Yeah, for TPD 100, I typed in the TPD 100. For the 101, I typed in 101. For 102, I typed in 102. But I've not been uploading in the e-portfolio. Just typing in the RMS.
I think I can take that, Dr. Olivia.
Okay.
You see, what we said is that because the e-portfolio is your storehouse for all the TPD artifacts, it therefore becomes very important that in as much as you are going to type those reflections on the LMS, you also have copies on your e-portfolio. Reason being, what will happen the day you will not be able to access our KU LMS and you still need to know what you did in TPD? You will not be able to get into our LMS and look at your reflections. But if you have them in your e-portfolio, that e-portfolio, even after you have stopped maybe doing your TPD, it will still be accessible to you, and therefore you can still go and see what you have been doing. So the beauty of having whatever you are writing as reflections also copied and pasted on the e-portfolio is simply the accessibility.
Plus, the e-portfolio itself is being assessed. The e-portfolio itself is being assessed. The manner in which you have arranged the reflections in the file is also assessed. So you must have the e-portfolio. Otherwise, then you lose out on some TPD points that are allocated to assessing the e-portfolio. In fact, in my view, it's like the summative assessment. You know, it's assessing how you have arranged your reflections. So you must have the e-portfolio, in other words. Anything else?
Doctor, I think I have something to ask you. This is Annington.
Yes.
My point, I think you have partly answered. My question would be, for those who are through with the modules now, cohort 1, the cohort 1's group, what is now next for them, or they wait until further communication next year? That is number one. Number two is in the first module, that is TPD 100, you stipulated to us how many files you are supposed to upload for grading. Like you gave us reflective journals, final reflective journals, which I have not seen on the platform for TPD 102. There is no final reflective journal, or maybe I'm not the one who is seeing well. Then you told us we gave the TPD action plan, which we put there. And now, what is the assignment for TPD 102? Because I've heard of reflective journals. Only that one, or there is another thing that we require to put in that portfolio, the link we'll submit for grading. Thank you.
Now, Huntington, first, TSC will tell us what to do with those who have completed the introductory module. So as soon as we get that information, then we'll let you know, because I don't think the face-to-face sessions can begin with just cohort 1. So as soon as we get directives from the Teacher Service Commission, we will let you know. What to do on TPD 102 for cohort 1 is the same activity that took place in TPD 100. The same reflections. You see, you're now making reflections. You're now creating reflections for chapters 4 and 5, because that is the content that was delivered in July for cohort 1. So once you generate those reflections and you put them in your e-portfolio, then you upload onto TPD 102, but for cohort 1. I don't know whether that is clear.
I think, Olivia, let me try to paraphrase what Huntington is asking.
Mm-hmm.
For cohort, okay, the introductory module chapter 1 that we did in December with cohort 1, that we did in April with cohort 2, and which now we have done in July with cohort 3, had the key assignment of coming up with a TPD action plan. So what he's asking is, how about the other cohorts that are now doing chapter 2 and 3, which is the key assignment? And how about the cohort 1 that came in December, which is now completing chapter 4 and 5, which are the key assignments?
Exactly.
Yeah, the key assignments are the reflections of the day. You know, on a daily basis, there are reflections that you need to upload onto the Kusoma platform as the content is being delivered. There are reflections you're making on what you have learned, what you still need to learn, and so the KWL reflections. So these daily reflections, and Margaret, please, the reflective journal, yes, is the same as the reflections. These reflections is what goes into your place on the TPD 102 platform. Then when you put them together into your e-portfolio, then that also goes to your TPD 102 platform. Because already you have developed your plan, your professional plan is already done. But there are reflections that are derived from the content that is delivered during that particular session. And for you now, that is chapter 4 and 5. Dr. Maniki, I don't know whether that is clear.
I think it's clear. We only put the reflections. Thank you.
No. There's something I want to say before we conclude.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you have gone through chapter 2, chapter 3, and the cohort 1 group has gone through chapter 4 and chapter 5. I am very sure as the facilitators who are taking you through chapter 2 and 3, there may have been an assignment that perhaps they gave you, which we may not be private to now, especially me, because I did not teach that cohort. When you are going through your chapter 4 and 5, there may also have been an assignment. Some facilitators may have given some assignment, or you may have been told what to do. So I would say, even as we say, yes, it is the reflections. If there is something arising from chapter 2 and 3, which the facilitator said you do as an assignment, that will also need to go to your e-portfolio. I'm aware that in chapter 4 and 5, there's a topic on ICT integration in learning. And I know there's an activity there on what technological tools can you use in your classes. If that was given as an assignment, again, what we are saying is that it has to go to your e-portfolio. So your e-portfolio is going to include anything that you think is relevant, anything that your facilitator said you do, and copies of your daily reflections posted there. And then on top of that, you go to the LMS and put the reflections there.
Yes, you have clarified that. Remember, I said earlier that do not just confine yourself to what you learn during these sessions. Experiences at your school level can also find their way to your reflections. You know, what is it you have been able to put into practice at your school level, and that you can be able to upload onto the Kusoma platform? Because the essence of this training is that there's a change of mindset in the way you do certain things. So if you can demonstrate that there is certain knowledge and skill that you acquired, and you have been able to put that into use, that also forms part of your reflection. So do not just confine yourself to the KWL. Open up to sharing reflections based on your experiences, even at the school. You can even share pictures the way you have been shown. You can share images, you can share videos of your teaching and so on, whatever it is you feel comfortable to share. But remember, ethical considerations: do not expose your learners against their consent, even as you share videos and all that. You must bear in mind that they are minors and their pictures cannot be exposed to everyone unless you get parental consent.
I have a question here. Hello, I have a question.
Yes, let's hear who first. Who came first?
I have a question.
I don't know who came first. Yes, let's hear whoever comes first.
And my concern is this.
Yes,
I was asking about the e-portfolio. When uploading our files now, linking it to the LMS, there is this section on the general access. They are bringing two options: restricted, and Dr. Elizabeth showed us about Kenyatta University. But I am using a machine, I'm using a laptop, and they are bringing two options: restricted and anyone with a link. Now, my question was, should I click on the anyone with a link, or what do I do?
Okay, I can take that one. And I think this is something that we dealt with in cohort 3, if I remember. It depends on the version of the computer that you're using, or even your phone. So if yours is showing restricted and anyone with a link can access, then go with anyone with a link can access, because what you're giving me is the link.
Yes, we cannot continue with the online sessions into module level 1, because remember, we are providing a service on behalf of the Teacher Service Commission, and the TPD program is designed such that the introductory module was to be offered online, of course, to also enhance your e-learning skills, e-learning knowledge, skills, and attitude. But module level 1, module level 2 going forward are supposed to be offered face-to-face, says the Teacher Service Commission. If this changes, if they decide that the whole course can be offered online, then we will let you know. But we cannot make a decision as Kenyatta University because the manner in which this content is being delivered, the modules are being delivered, is designed by TSC, and we are only then providing the service in accordance to what we signed in the contract between us and the Teacher Service Commission. Any other burning question? There are several hands up.
I have a question.
Hello, Doctor. Very brief, Pamela.
Pamela. Okay, and this is my question. Okay, is there any harm if your reflective journals are marked by 2 different facilitators during different sessions?
I don't know why you would want. Why would you want 2 facilitators?
Let's say maybe you missed
Someone
a
is
session,
Unajua,
like for example, April session, then you find yourself in a different group.
Now, I think what is important, let's put it this way, what is important is that the grading happens and that you have TPD points, which can be forwarded to the Teacher Service Commission when they ask for the points. So don't worry so much about who marks, because we have kept on changing the facilitators. It's been impossible for you to have the same facilitator going forward. I'm sure if asked, you'd say, oh, I want to be in Dr. Monique's class, but it's not possible to have the same facilitator throughout. So what should be important for you is that your reflections have been graded. So just focus on that. By who? You should not worry. You just need to know that the grading has happened and the TPD points will be available if the Teacher Service Commission requests for the same.
Okay,
Anything
thank you.
else? Quickly, very, very quickly.
Dr.
We
Olivia?
need to call it a day. This is 1:30.
Dr. Olivia?
Yes, Jackie.
I have a concern. I joined the first session in April and I uploaded my reflections very well. Now I joined the July session last week, but there is no place for me to upload the 102 reflections. My account is showing only TPD 101 and 100 only. So I'm wondering where will I upload the reflections for
Now
this current assignment?
I hear you. That's a system issue which we can address tomorrow when the ICT personnel are in the office. So many of you who have that issue, I think it will be addressed tomorrow.
Okay.
Anything else?
Dr. Olivia, maybe somebody is asking, so the access and online socialization is not put in the e-portfolio, and I want to respond and saying no, that one is directly on the LMS. So do not cut and paste what you wrote when you are welcoming your colleagues and when you are just introducing yourself. That one doesn't need to be on the LMS. Lastly, Dr. Olivia, could you please give the timelines for the assessment? When should they have finished their work so that facilitators can start?
Yeah, okay. Before I give the timelines, Christine, please do not use the learners' videos without their consent. It is an ethical issue. Or you can take videos just so that we see their backs. It's a serious thing, by the way, and take it seriously. But if you take videos and we are seeing their backs, that's okay. But if you get their consent, and because they are minors, the consent can only come from the parents, I think it's going to be a lot of work. So get their backs, and that will be fine if you must share a video. Now, colleagues, we are competent.
Sorry,
Can I
doctor, for
respond to the
interruption.
timelines first?
Excuse
Let
me, doctor.
respond.
I have the
Okay, everyone is talking.
Yeah,
Can I
that's
respond to the
question,
timelines?
doctor.
Everybody is talking, so we cannot communicate. We are talking at cross
Yes,
purposes.
I have a question.
I think, wait before your question. Can I talk about the timelines? This group and those who have been able to attend this session are very competent in as far as creating reflections and uploading the reflections are concerned. So I think we only need up to the end of this month. Today is 11th. So by 30th, and let me post it here, by 30th July, we should have completed uploading our reflections for our facilitators to grade. Because we have the knowledge, we have the skill, and we have the right attitude. So those who can't access TPD 102, we'll make sure tomorrow we make it accessible for everyone so that you do this before the schoolwork starts piling up and you then procrastinate. And then you find yourself linking it up to the next session. That is for cohort 2 and 3. So the earlier you're done with this, the better. So by September, If there's a holiday after elections, then you are concentrating on chapters 2 and 3. And that's for cohort 3. And for cohort 2, you will then be concentrating, excuse me, on the last chapters, chapters 4 and 5. So the earlier you can do it, the better. 30th July, we'll post this. We'll keep on reminding you. We'll post this on the WhatsApp groups as well. And experience beginners, what happens is when we set those timelines, we shut the system. The system shuts, and so you cannot be able to access it. So please do it before your schoolwork starts piling up. Yes.
Hello, Dr.
Yes. Yes, we'll be here until 4 o'clock. Can we wind up the questioning? Yes.
The last one,
Yes,
this is
Andrew?
Dr. Mwaniki.
Class.
This is Dr. Mwaniki.
Yes.
On the reflective journals that we are doing on the platform, is it possible to copy paste it so that we put it in our e-portfolio?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that right. So you're talking about, yes, you can
I'm asking about the reflective journals. Is it possible to copy paste it so that we put it on our e-portfolio for uploading?
Now, what I said, Anne,
yes,
is that even if you write directly on the learning management system,
yes,
after you have written, it is still possible to highlight and copy to a Word document, or you can start with a Word document and then go and paste it on the learning management system. But what I'm saying is that at the end of it all, whatever you write as reflections for day 1 on the learning management system, ensure that you also have a copy elsewhere in a let's say a Word document, which then you are going to upload on the e-portfolio. So whichever way, if you think starting with a Word document is easy, then copying and pasting to the LMS, or if you start by writing directly on the learning management system, then whatever you have written there has to be elsewhere in a Word document so that you can also place it, a copy of that on the on the e-portfolio. It is not possible for us to make you be able to download the LMS. You cannot do that. So the easiest way is, if you decide to write directly on the LMS, also ensure that you have copied and pasted the same on another Word document, which now when you have the 3 sentences combined, what I have learned, what I'm still wondering, and what I still need makes up for reflections for day 1, and that file can be uploaded to your e-portfolio.
Thank you, Dr.
I have a last question for Dr. Mwaniki, please, for assistance. Hello?
Yes, please ask.
Yes, I had submitted my e-portfolio in form of a document. And actually, when I'm looking at it, it is indicating that I submitted. So I'm just asking whether the facilitators will be able to access this document and maybe perhaps mark and grade me, because we were not introduced to what we have learned today. So we just did everything and submitted them as documents in the e-portfolio. So our facilitators are able to access and maybe be able to mark and grade us. That is my question. Thank you.
Now, Mwalim, we have just said that it is still possible for you to have that e-portfolio that perhaps you did not submit correctly, reversed, removed, so that now, using the new knowledge that you have acquired today, you can submit another e-portfolio. And Dr. Olivia has already given you the TPD emails, coordinator's email, to do that. But because you also know your facilitator, you could also request them to revert your submission a draft status so that now you can upload properly. We have already said you can do that. Otherwise, it's not going to be easy for them to mark it the way you have uploaded it, because that will mean downloading all those files to their computer and then giving you a grade. So please request through the TPD coordinator's email or directly to your facilitator to remove your submission so that then you can place another one there.
Last question, Daktari.
Yes.
When will be the now? Those people have not attended. I joined lastly to get the remedial for this class.
Now, I don't know what you are saying, Andrew Godana, because you have been in my class throughout. So it is not like you are coming here for the first time. I remember you very well. What we have said is that by 30th of July, we need to have your reflections on the LMS and we need to have your e-portfolio submitted because we start grading.
My question is,
Can I answer your question, Andrew? We will have the recordings of these sessions on the website, and we will share the same in the WhatsApp groups. So if there's something you missed, you'll have an opportunity to listen to the recordings and follow those instructions to access the Kusoma platform, prepare your reflections and upload them.
Thank you.
Hello, Daktari. Hello,
Yeah, please
Daktari.
ask.
Yeah, I tried calling the TPD coordinator and even my lecturer, but then it's like they were saying that it cannot be reversed once submitted. Now, what do we do?
Now, trying to call the TPD coordinator. I don't know what number you used because you see all the numbers in my office are written TPD coordinator. But why don't we stop looking at the side mirror or rather the rear mirror? We are saying ask for the content to be removed, then upload the reflections anew. That's what we are saying, isn't it, Mwalimu? So just do that. Okay? Do an email. And already the emails are coming in. There are people who are already sending those emails, for the content to be removed so that they can upload the reflections anew. So is that okay, Mwalimu? I think we wind up. Can we wind up? Is there anything burning?
Olivia, maybe let me...
Yes.
Kindly
Dr.
allow me
Olivia.
to ask this. Suppose you uploaded already some videos and the photos of children without the parental consent. How are you going to revert the e-portfolio? Thank you.
Now, can I pick that as I say whatever I wanted to say? That remember, and maybe listen twice here so that we do not keep going around in circles. One, the e-portfolio is your e-portfolio. It is not the facilitators. And that means that if you want to remove something from that e-portfolio, you can still do it from your end. You just need to go to the file, click on it, and remove it. When you click on a file in that folder, there's a dialog box that comes and you can remove it. So it is up to you on your end to remove it. So it is perfectly okay. Now, as you write the emails to the TPD coordinator to request for maybe the e-portfolio to be removed, especially for those who did it like they just uploaded very many documents, please indicate your full name, your TSC number, and who your facilitator is. That way we are able to act on those requests very fast. And lastly, because we have the various WhatsApp groups for the various groups, let us avoid jamming the facilitators' WhatsApp with text. I don't know what to say because from Friday, I have very many teachers texting me directly on my WhatsApp. Some even asking me, where do you teach? Others asking me very interesting questions that can you put me in the Nairobi group? Honestly, teachers, let us also learn to respect people's private spaces. Because now when you ask me, where do you teach? Oh, I got your number from the group. I think by now you should have known that I'm your facilitator. And when you ask me now to put you in the Nairobi group, I don't even know. I mean, the link is all over. So let us respect private spaces. If you have anything to say about the TPD, there's a main group. Go and write it there. That is why that group is there. Otherwise, over the weekend, I cannot read anything on my WhatsApp. It's full of, writing, some very, okay. I think the story is home. Thank you, Dr. Olivia, and over to you.
Hello, Dr. Olivia. Hello, if I can say something, Daktari.
Go on.
Okay, I've seen a link for admission letters on the chat room, but when I try to go through it, I'm being told that my TSC number cannot be found.
Now, can we do this, Charity? Because now those are very personalized issues. Please deal with the coordinator separately through a text or an email so that we are not here listening to personal issues, because now if everybody was to say what they are going through, I think we'll be here up to 5. Please deal with it. Write her an email, then she'll be able to respond.
Okay.
Hello, Dr. Mwaneki. Hello.
And the other thing that I would want to say maybe as we close, remember, just like the way we deal with our students, if your students do not come to school on Monday, they come on Tuesday. Wednesday, they are very busy elsewhere. They don't come. Then they come on Thursday. They don't come and tell you, now, because I didn't come on Tuesday, can you repeat the content on what you taught? It will be very unfair for you as a teacher. So let us also take personal responsibility. Because if you enrolled in TPD, you enrolled because you knew you'd be there. So please don't make it now the facilitator's burden that because I was not there for 2 days, now show me what to do. Honestly speaking, Dr. Olivia, I will not do that because we all got into this knowing that we have time. And when you request your facilitators now to start repeating what they did in day 1, day 2, I mean, they also have work to do. And the TPD was between 4th and 8th. So just like you cannot start teaching a class afresh because 2 students were not in, 3 students were not in, let us also take personal responsibilities of our learning so that we are also not doing the wrong things. I think I hand over to Dr. Olivia to close.
Dr. Mwaneki, please, before you leave. Dr. Mwaneki, before you leave, one question that I've asked on the wall. After I'm asking, can I upload a folder? I have condensed all my files together. Can I upload a folder on the drive?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Daktari, please clarify where you are going to send the recording of this, please.
You have various WhatsApp groups. All of you are in groups. That is where it will be sent, and also on the TPD website.
Okay.
Dr. Olivia, please take over.
Yeah, I think we are done. We may be here until cows come home. So can we call it a day? Somebody was talking. Let me hear you, and then we wind up.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm saying that some of us are not in these groups. I've tried asking whether I can be added in any. I've not been added so far.
Please do an email. Just do an email with that request. Very, very clear. And then we will do it tomorrow when the those in the TPD office are in the office. The office is closed now. I'm working from home. So my team is not here to be able to respond to all those requests. So if you do an email, we will act on it tomorrow. Any other questions, Walimu, before we call it a day?
Thank you, Dr. I encourage my colleagues to pay for them to get their letters. They pay fully. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Who is this? I need to buy you coffee.
Mercy.
Mercy, you need to call me so we can take coffee. Please pay. If you want your admission letter, pay us. Remember, this is a service we are offering on behalf of the Teacher Service Commission. So we don't want to give you an admission letter and you have not paid us. Because you may disappear after getting the admission letter because now you have something to show TSC when you go for interviews. So pay us and then you can download your admission letter. I've shared the link in the chat room. Okay, and on that note, colleagues, I want to wish you
Excuse me.
happy Eid. Yes,
Excuse
Patrick?
me, Dr. The number you have sent for TSC for TPD coordinator is incomplete.
Oh, is it incomplete? The number I posted? Okay, let me post it again.
Okay, thanks.
Let me post it again. The TPD office number. Let me just post it again before we wind up. Can I even read it out?
Yes, please.
I could read it out.
Yes, please read it out.
So the number is 07 970 939. That's the number. And that means also, colleagues, please also do not jam my WhatsApp with a lot of questions because it is overwhelming. You know, there's so many questions that are coming to my number. You happen to have my number. Let's use the office number because then those questions can be responded to immediately.
First question, Daktari, please.
Yes.
I was in your group, the first cohort, group 22.
Mm-hmm.
I uploaded my e-portfolio. I have been checking if it is graded, but it's not graded. You can help me.
It will be graded. It will be graded. Dr. Njoroge will grade it. Don't worry.
Thank you.
If you have done what you need to do and the ball is in the court of the facilitator, you shouldn't worry. The grading will happen. Just do your bit and ensure you have completed what you need to do. Then the rest is for us. We will grade all those reflections and allocate the TPD points which you'll be able to see from your end. Okay. So can we now say, have a pleasant afternoon and see you soon. We hope to maybe offer another session.
You too. Thank you, Dr.
For those who are not able to access because the live streaming let us down. And if that is possible, we will let your colleagues know. If it is not possible, look out for the video recordings of this session. And I wish to thank Dr. Mwaniki. I wish to thank Dr. Oyo, not Ojo, for making time for this session on a day like this one when they should be resting. So God bless you, Daktari. And facilitators, I also want to celebrate you. You are very keen, you are very patient. You are here on a day when you could be preparing to take your children to school or to do whatever it is you need to be doing. So thank you so much, even for choosing Kenyatta University to provide this service. I want to wish you a very good afternoon and kwaheri ya kuonana.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Daktari. Good work.
Kwaheri, Yonana.